Star Wars Conflict Within Episode 2 Shadows of the Past, Session 7. The Sith have reached the Outer Rim. Despite Raj Rook holding defenses at Terrace, a small portion of the Sith fleet has managed to maneuver into the Outer Rim and laid waste to Soona the Hutt's forces at Tatooine. The survivors have rerouted to Hoth, joining our hero's cause. With many of the core and inner worlds now under Sith occupation, Darth Toxus has turned her ambitions towards the Mandalorians and the Hutts. While Katra attempts to secure the cooperation, or at least an audience, with the vile Jorana the Hutt, our heroes manage to restore the Bacta facilities on Felucia. With the Sith now closing in on Dantooine, our heroes have summoned help from their new allies in the Ruby Eclipse to help bolster the defenses while they race back home from Felucia. With the Razorback's engines running around the clock and above operational limits, Ozzy Vizsla prepares for an ancient and important ceremony in the ship's hold. And that is where we will pick up tonight. Galvin, you, M3T4, and Ozzy have had the ship, the hyperdrive aboard the Razorback running around the clock and well above operational limits. You guys have overhauled this thing to run in overdrive because you know the Sith are much closer to Dantooine than you are, so you are trying to cut a 7-day journey into like a 3-day journey. You guys have this thing hauling ass right now. It is a little spooky. It's requiring almost constant maintenance because things keep breaking and you have to kind of fix them on the fly to keep it running at this speed. Song has on more than one occasion kind of been like, this ship is being torn to pieces trying to get us back right now. But like, it is more so.
A lot of people are really upset at Ellie.
Would hyperdrive be like system strain related, or is that like a physical thing? Like,
it's both, really. This thing is giving everything she's got trying to get you home. And while of course none of you would ever believe the Razorback to be a sentient being of any kind, you can't help but be proud that this bucket of bolts is hanging together through a trip like this. However, despite all the stress going on and all the craziness going on, today is actually marks a very special moment, a very special occasion. You have all descended down into the hold of the Razorback where Ozzy Vizsla has summoned you. As you descend down into the hold, you see that most of it is lit by candle right now. Not a common thing in Star Wars times. But a pathway has been illuminated on either side for you all to approach. Approaching a workbench that has been made into a makeshift altar. And standing behind that altar is Ozzy Vizsla wearing her ceremonial blue robes. And behind her are 5 blue candles that are lit. Raven and Song, you two immediately recognize this to be a tattoo ceremony of the Mandalorian people, one of the most sacred traditions of your people. Anaris, you would also recognize a tattoo ceremony when you see one. You don't know tons about Mandalorian culture, but you don't have to know a lot about Mandalorian culture to know that they do this. That said, it is very uncommon for anyone who is not of Mandalorian blood to get to be witness to one. This is a very rare occurrence for someone to get to witness one. Sifu looks very nervous because this is her first tattoo ceremony.
I whisper to her, it ain't much worse than being knocked around by a Mancor, or Rancor.
She kind of glanced up. I should hope not. You all approach. Galvin, Stampaka, and Anaris, you are all given kind of leave to go watch from over at the side, a confirmation that you are invited to be here. This is a very rare occurrence. It is very, very uncommon for non-Mandalorians to ever get to see one of these. For clarity's sake, Robbie's wife never saw one of these. Like, it's that uncommon. Ozzy smiles. She has removed her helmet for this. She still has her Mandalorian armor underneath her blue cloak, but she does not have her helmet on right now. You can see that much of her facial grafts have started to really take. She's starting to look a lot more human again, much more like she once did.
She has less character now, so she looks more like our father.
Yeah, exactly. So, as you arrive, she speaks. Today is one of the most joyous days of the Mandalorian people. Some of our own have felled a great beast, and will take the mark of that beast upon their flesh. There are those in the galaxy who find this ritual to be barbaric. They say that in doing so, we celebrate death. Nothing could be further from the truth. Since time immemorial, Mandalorians have said, in war, truth, in death, honesty. But few take the time to understand what is meant by those words. It is not some proclamation that the only way to live is through war and death. Instead, it reminds us that in war, in combat, and yes, in our final moments, that we are truthful and honest with both ourselves and others. When all else that clouds our judgment and reason is stripped away, only then can we truly be our honest selves. When you fought the Rancor, you worried not about the Sith conflict. Raven, she looks at you. You didn't think about betrayals of the past. Song, she looks at you. You didn't think about those you'd lost. And finally, she looks at Sifu. And you didn't think about those you may yet lose. In those precious moments, you focused truly on the here and now, on what and who was important to you. That is the gift the Rancor has given you. Clarity on what really matters. And that is why we take the symbol of the Rancor upon our flesh this day, not as bravado or ego, but as a reminder of what really matters. In this way, remember that we celebrate not death, but life. Raven and Song, this is not like any sermon you've ever heard before a tattoo ceremony. To be clear, what she just said is heresy. Raven, you would be within your right to have her imprisoned or executed for what she just said. That is not the Mandalorian scripture or code and not anywhere close to it. She speaks again. Sifu Rook, please step forward. And this very nervous girl takes a couple hesitant steps forward before climbing up onto the altar and laying back down on it as she's supposed to. And Ozzy speaks again. There is said to be no more proud day in a Mandalorian's life than the day they receive their first tattoo. She looks down to Sifu. Allow me then to tell you that that is not true. Look around, Sifu, at those who chose to share this moment with you. Mandalorians, some of them, but not all. Think not about their heritage, only that they chose to be here to support you, for that matters more than blood or clan or status. They fought alongside you, and you alongside them, and in that, they are closer to you than anyone. Where will you take the Rancor's claw? And again, Raven, Song, heresy being spoken right now. Not
to me.
Well, not to you, maybe not to you, but like by the actual scripture, she's speaking heresy.
The scripture is bullshit.
Yeah. Sifu kind of nervously looks up and points to her neck. She wants it on the left side of her neck, and Ozzy nods and takes the pistol that's going to basically implant the tattoo along her neck. And you all watch as she puts the pistol to her neck and just slowly drags it down, the mark of a Rancor's claw appearing there. This is an important moment for Mandalorians. It is seen as highly dishonorable to let out like a gasp of pain or to cry out. And it hurts like hell. Many Mandalorians on their first tattoo especially do. They do exactly that. It hurts. And it's surprising how much it does. But you'd all be very proud. Sifu keeps quiet, and she uses her Jedi training to stay focused and ignores the pain, and she gets through it without letting out a peep. And then she sits up and hops off the table, showing her tattoo to Song and to Raven.
Slap it. How's that feel?
Oh, it's good. It feels great. I did it.
Brother did that to me after my first tattoo and told me that pain is weakness leaving the body.
Oh, she gives a glare. She's like, I can see why your brother didn't talk to you much later on. Oh, and she keeps walking.
I give her a cookie.
She takes the cookie. She seems pissed about it. Ozzy will then look to you, Raven, and say, Raven, Mandalore Raven Vizsla, please step forward.
Raven, excuse me, Raven will step forward.
She nods and has you sit down and lay back on the table. She speaks, looking at you. Here lays before us proof that the one thing that time cannot erode away is love. Mandalorians do not often speak of love. Our poets choose to herald the glories of war and battle instead of the conquests of the heart. There are those among our people who would call you weak, Mandalore Vizsla, for your dalliance of the heart. But know that they are wrong. Your love of your friends, your memory of your family, and yes, your love of your wife is what makes you strong. It is what stands above all else as proof of your readiness to lead. Never be told otherwise, Mandalore. You are strong. Where will you take the Rancor's claw?
Raven will just offer up her right forearm. She's been through this rodeo before.
She takes the tattoo pistol, same design as the one that Sifu just got, and runs it down your arm. It hurts exactly as much as it always does. It's no fun. But, yeah, you make it through without so much as a peep, having been through it a number of times. And you stand up. Sifu kind of politely claps for you. And then she looks to you, Song. Song Vizsla, come forward.
He does so a little reluctantly.
Mm-hmm. He nods and guides you down onto the table like everyone else. Dear brother, for over 20 years I had thought you gone from my life forever. There were times that my despair turned to anger. I thought you a traitor, treasonous against our people. But it was not your actions against our people that truly angered me. I felt abandoned by you. Just as our brother did. Just as our father and mother did. A number of years after you left, I discovered some of your old writings. I was shocked to learn how far you dissented from the traditional teachings of our people. But there was a sense in what you said. I began to explore the teachings of the Smiths of old and found that what we taught modernly was much different and perhaps very much lesser. From that time forward, I dedicated myself to preaching a better message about our way of life. So while you may have left our people because you felt you couldn't make us better, I want you to know that at least for one of us, you did. Where will you take the Rancor's claw?
Pull my shirt off so she can put it sort of on my chest near my heart.
She nods and reaches down. She pushes a little bit harder on you than the other two as she runs the tattoo.
I just smile at her.
She smiles right back at you and nods before removing the tattoo gun. It's all done. And she gives it a good healthy smack.
I laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Tickles.
It does. No, it doesn't tickle. It hurts like hell.
It's not what I'm letting her see.
Yeah, fair enough.
Remember, you do that to remove weakness from the body. When you're this far in life, there isn't much left.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. If you say so. And she nods and bows her head graciously to each of you. All three of you have earned your tattoos this day. Well done. May you remember always what they stand for and not what they say about you. And she finishes the ceremony, extinguishing the candles that are behind her, and the lights in the hold come back on. It was a very makeshift ceremony, but certainly a very different one. Yeah, that is all for the tattoo ceremony. If anyone has anything they want to say or talk to.
Stompy leans over to Galvin and says, I love weddings.
I now pronounce you all married. Congratulations.
Ah, shit.
Is that what this is?
Stompy, I'm not sure this is a wedding.
It's just so beautiful.
I'm just glad that I don't actually have to get a tattoo on my face, like Song said.
We can hear this, right?
Question
probably.
for you, GM. Now is this tattoo gun like do you actually have to have like artistic ability, or is it more just like it scans over and burns in a pre-programmed thing?
It is no, it takes a degree of skill. Like that is something she learned to do.
It's like a tattoo needle,
Yeah,
Okay.
it works
And it's
very
not-
fast, but
and it's not like a stick-on tattoo where you just
no,
it's there.
no, nothing like that. No, it's
Wash it off in 3 days.
Yeah, no, it's not a henna.
So after she kind of walks away, I pick it up and I go, "All right, Galvin."
Ozzy walks over and smacks your hand. No touch.
Later when she's
Raven's
not
just
around.
gonna look over at Stompy and Galvin. Yeah, there's usually more fighting at weddings.
We haven't been drinking yet.
You're not wrong. And after that, everyone kind of disperses to go about their day. You've been traveling at light speed since yesterday. You'll arrive in probably about 2 more days. So if anyone has anything that they would like to do, let me know.
I would like to go to Ozzy.
She is back up now in her quarters and is just getting her ceremonial robes off and getting back ready.
My quarters.
No, she's in her quarters.
Mhm. It says captain's quarters on it.
She knows.
So,
Does it
all
still
the
say that?
hustle and bustle of killing a Rancor, I forgot to look for the barrel thing.
She groans loudly. Of course you did.
But there isn't something on the ship that we can just like repurpose, or maybe Galvin can whip something up. He's pretty smart.
No, but if you're going to Dantooine, we can find something there.
All right. Did you finish that thing I asked?
Which thing are we talking about?
The shoulder piece with the snake and the Rancor on it?
Yes, she has finished that. She will go over and go under the bed to pull out the piece of armor that she has done. It is a basic shoulder pauldron, very well crafted because she's a pretty good smith. And it has a Rancor, much the symbol as the tattoo you just got. It's got the Rancor's claw on it.
It doesn't have the rook symbol sort
Yes,
of
I'm sorry.
meshed
Yes.
into there some way as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
sorry. It's literally a Rancor's claw over the rook symbol.
Cool. I take it. I can look at it. Yeah, that's not bad, I guess.
She glares at you. It's perfect, and you know it.
I'm gonna lean out the door and just yell for Sifu.
Yep. Sifu makes her way over, still kind of rubbing her neck. Like, feel it itches a little bit. She's not allowed to scratch it. She doesn't like that.
So I kind of
yes?
invite her in with me and Ozzy.
Oh.
I got something for you.
Oh.
So I know that you have been thinking about what it is that you want to be. Mandalore, Jedi, whatever. There's a lot of choices that you're going to have to make. Not just now, just throughout your entire life. But once this war is over with, the galaxy is going to look a lot different. And I just want you to know that as you make those choices, know that you don't have to choose what came before. That you can find something new. Something that's just your own. If you so choose. And I'm going to take the pauldron out and present it to her. Maybe somewhere between being a Mandalorian and a Jedi.
She kind of stares at it wide-eyed. Being given armor in Mandalorian culture, even just a piece of armor, is a big deal. She stares at it, and her face lights up red. And she kind of like looks up towards Ozzy, who just nods to her. Mm-hmm. Yours. And she takes it, and she actually offers her arm so that you can strap it onto her properly.
And I do. I pull it nice and tight.
Kind of gives it a couple of hard pats. Make sure it doesn't interfere with her range of motion, which it does not because it's perfectly made.
Pretty good.
And she smiles and reaches up and hugs both of you.
All right. Just whatever you do end up deciding to take from one culture or the other, capes in battle are not a good idea.
She starts to laugh. I mean, you'd be surprised how often it comes in handy for him. Like, really, you'd be very surprised. I certainly was.
Well, if I know your father, he's not going to put himself into a situation where it's going to matter. So
Well,
he
not
always
wrong
like to
about
take
that.
the easy ways out.
She laughs again. Yeah, you're not wrong. All right. So she will again give you a hug, and then she'll kind of go about her day. She goes to find Ellie and work her out. Ellie loses 2 pounds on this trip back.
Nice.
You've now got both Ozzy and Seafood dedicated to the cause of getting Ellie back in shape.
15 pounds. She's still heavier than Talia's.
She is still heavy. She's still 14 pounds. She's still double the weight she should be, but she is. getting there.
We didn't do any rolls for light side, dark side.
You're right. We
and-
didn't. Nope. I need all three. I need a light side roll, a dark side roll. So that would be
Can
5
I roll
force
the
die.
D100?
You may roll the D100 song.
It's by our force rating, right? Or no?
No, it's 1 for every player.
Can I give
60?
Robbie advantage?
No,
60 for the D100.
60 for the D100 obligation table.
Oh crap!
What the hell?
All right, that is going.
That's not okay.
Morris!
That is going to trigger Kane's betrayal.
Fuck.
So everyone is going to take 1 strain, and Kane, you are going to take 2 strain that you cannot remove this session.
Name is Song.
Sorry, Song. My apologies.
Can I re-roll that?
No. Sounds like it's good for me.
Can I give
6
Turlo
dark side.
advantage?
6 dark side points. All right, this is working out
I
great.
feel
Why
like
I
you should
said,
take
can I re-roll it?
like you should take 15 conflict for that.
You don't get any,
No,
you don't get
no,
any
no
conflict for it.
conflict.
No,
No.
He rolled 6 dark side points.
I agree.
It was
If anything, I'm
Skin
going to
the
give him
Jedi
negative
bot.
conflict. I feel great about it.
How am I
Skippy the Jedi
supposed?
bot did it.
How am I supposed to fulfill my side quest of getting all dark side if they're already dark side?
Well, you can take a break this session.
Yeah, there we go.
I swear to God, if we manage to roll like a single other dark side pimp this entire session, I'm gonna
This-
be mad.
This is wonderful. I'm so happy right now. All right. It is the next day. This will be the final day that you're in Lightspeed before you'll arrive at Dantooine the following morning. 2 things happen this morning, and they happen at the same time. First, Song, you are currently in the brig, hanging out in your what has become your quarters in the brig, since Raven is sharing with Ozzy right now.
Oh, is she? I thought she
Yeah.
was in there too.
I'm pretty sure that's what we decided last session. But you
Don't
have
remember.
you have the brig to yourself at the moment when you get a private call from Isla the Hutt.
Well, shit.
Okay. I'm going to take it.
It picks up, and Isla is there, and she smiles at you. Song, looking beautiful as ever, I see.
What do I owe the pleasure? My hand is hovering above the off button.
Well, I wanted to let you know that while the R&D wing of the building that you, or of the facility you got to me, was unfortunately pretty much a total loss, the actual Bacta facilities, pretty good shape. We got them back running and online very quickly. We're actually already producing Bacta. So to that end, where would you like it sent?
Send some of it to Dantooine, small amount, just enough for us to be able to use.
Mm-hmm.
The rest start to stockpile at Hoth with the rest of our fleets.
She nods. All right, let's see. Dantooine. All right, I'll send about 10% of it to Dantooine and the rest to Hoth then. Song, I must say, our partnership has become really something. Although, I recently got a alert from your Raj Rook, is it? They have requested that my fleets operate under their command for a strategic mission to Dantooine.
Didn't I talk to Isla about that last time?
You talked to her about her fleet.
Yes, sending her fleet to Dantooine, right?
I don't think you actually talked to her about that. Sorry. What she's actually concerned about is she was under. She believed that her fleets were still going to be under her command, even if they were working with you.
Gotcha.
They are literally asking, like, no, you need to enter our chain of command because it's not very helpful otherwise.
Yep. Isla, what is it you would say are your specialties that allowed you to rise to where you are now?
Well, I've always been good at dealing with people. She smiles.
Mostly, at least through our interactions, using words and diplomacy, maybe a little bit of intimidation where necessary. Is that correct?
Indeed.
Raj and the Mandalorians got to where they are because they're good at war, and make no mistake, it's where we're at right now. So at least for the duration, I would ask, given how well we've been working together, that you submit your fleet for now to Raj's commands.
That would be a very dangerous prospect if I am not given some semblance of assurance, but I have just the thing. I'd like a hostage. Just someone to make certain that, should there be any undue use of my fleet, I have a bargaining chip. I understand Raj's daughter is with you. She'll do fine. I'll take her.
You know, up until this point, we've had, 3 negotiations?
Indeed.
Where you've gotten everything that you've asked for.
As have you.
Would you like that to continue?
I would.
After all, by the time this is over, we're going to have 5 planets with no huts behind them up for grabs. Would you prefer the planets, or would you prefer a girl?
Robbie, you may make I'll let you pick. Charm, coercion, whatever social skill you feel is most applicable, you may make against this roll.
I don't
Say coercion.
think it's charm. Honestly, they're all 2 greens.
They're all too great. Fair enough.
What about stealth?
Stealth?
You got treachery?
No, would skullduggery count?
Yes, I would let you roll skullduggery for this.
All right.
You are dealing with the criminal underworld, so I would let you roll skullduggery.
All right. So
Difficulty is 2.
green, purple. I'm gonna go ahead and use my upgrade here.
Get him, Song.
Probably.
And let me use a destiny. All right, Anaris.
Oh.
I don't have any to use.
Hey, don't point that on me.
Oh wait, you know what?
What else are you
Go
gonna
ahead.
point it at? You
Go ahead and
rolled it.
roll. Go ahead and roll a red and a purple instead of 2 purple.
Fuck!
Because I'm gonna give you guys a light side point now.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
I blame Skippy the Jedi.
I just
All
want
right,
to.
you know what? I'm taking away that light side point. No. I'm kidding.
No! I was going to use it right now. I was just say during this phone call, Stompy's going to be stealthily feeding Ellie.
Oh my god, Christ alive, help me.
I got 8 threat.
8 threat?
A
threat. All right. So take a
Eighth
strain.
strain, you're unconscious. Let's
Take-
go.
Take. I'm like, holy Jesus! We only rolled 2 dice. 8. Okay, take a strain. No failures, no successes. So let's see, what's somewhere in the middle? Okay. She kind of looks at you for a long moment. Very well. You said 5 planets are going to be available at the end of this?
Right.
I get my pick of them. Whichever one I want.
deal.
Very well. She smiles.
1 for
1.
now.
Very well. Oh, Song, while I have you. I couldn't help but think back to what you just said about how well we're working together. And in the honor of that, I do have something kind of special for you. I was recently contacted by Darth Toxus. She wants me to surrender and forfeit my fleets to her. But
You've given you a planet for them?
she's offered me a somewhat more violent terms if I deny. But she did ask that I send a representative to the Lady-in-Waiting to negotiate my surrender and eventual alliance with the Sith. I have no intention of doing so. However, I do have a clearance code for a single-man fighter to dock on the Lady-in-Waiting. If you want it, it's all yours.
Strings.
Strings? No strings other than all I can promise is I can get you on board. Once you're there, they're likely to know you're there.
Send it my way then.
He nods, and a moment later on your holopad, you see indeed what looks to be a very ancient-looking, because it's weirdly encrypted. It's not how like landing clearances look,
Sure,
but
sure.
it appears to be some form of ancient landing clearance is put on your holopad. She smiles at you. Best of luck, Song. This one seems like something of a tough customer.
One more thing,
Oh.
Mila.
Yes.
Have a very good day. And I hang up on her.
You can almost hear her from across space going, "Mother." All right, you can mark that one down. You're up 4-1.
She probably picks something up. I imagine she picks something up and just throws it at someone in the room.
Yeah, someone is about to have, one of her underlings is about to have a real bad day. She's like,
I'm actually gonna keep score.
It's 4-1. You've got the
Song
lead.
versus Isla.
Oh, mother. All right. While that is happening, Raven, you are in the common room. You're the only one in the common room, except for Sifu, who is there meditating. Ever since Anaris gave her some more tips and tricks on how to maybe focus a little bit better, she has been doing her best to meditate in her downtime, especially on this long trip. And as she's sitting there, you suddenly see her jerk out of her meditation, panicked. Tears are streaming down her cheeks. She's trying to get a hold of herself.
I'll like kind of move her over and sit her on like I'm assuming there's like a couch that I would have been sitting on.
Yeah.
Just give her a sec to calm down.
She kind of reaches up and like wipes the tears away as it's for her it's kind of like it's like a bad dream that she just woke up from, but it was one that she was having during the day. She kind of looks up at you. You can still see that there's a lot of panic in her eyes. Oh, hello, Raven. I'm sorry. You notice she calls you by her name, not even thinking to address you as Mandalore.
About time.
Yeah, it's probably not a good sign. She's really panicked.
Just gonna try to calm her down a little bit.
She seems to sit quietly for a long time trying to process what it is that she saw, what it is that she just experienced. And when she finally speaks, she looks up at you. You lost your mother recently, right?
Gonna nod. Yeah.
I heard a lot about Shijie Visla. She was supposed to be a great woman.
One of the greatest.
Mandalore, I just saw my father die.
Raven's gonna look kind of taken aback for a minute. Do you want to talk about it?
She's once or twice as she tries to speak, she kind of breaks down, crying a little bit.
They're like, can I get her like a glass of water in here or something?
Yeah, you could just grab one over off the bar table. You could just grab a glass of water for her. She drinks it. So I have a lot of visions when I sleep, mostly. They're usually far in the future, and some of them come true. Most of them don't. The ones I have during the day always come true. I think my dad's gonna die tomorrow.
Raven's just gonna kind of look a little bit, shocked.
Mm-hmm. Takes a long breath. when we come out of hyperspace, can I send him a message?
Would it help you to maybe hear my thoughts on death in general, I suppose?
She nods, actually. Yeah.
All
That
right.
would be-
She is wearing the like shoulder pauldron, right?
Yeah, the one that Song gave her in Nazi.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. She doesn't take
So-
it off during her waking hours. She loves it.
Raven's just gonna, tap that a couple of times with her finger.
Mhm.
Mandalorians would tell you that death in combat is the highest honor we can achieve. And if we die fighting, everyone else will remember us and honor us, and in doing so, then those we lose will never truly leave us.
She nods.
Gonna take a deep breath, move her hand, kind of play with the end of her Padawan braid.
Oh, yeah.
The Jedi would tell you there is no death, only the Force. Those that die will remain with you in the Force always. And then Raven is going to reach down. She, even with it broken, she always has the Darksaber on her hip.
Mhm.
She's gonna unclip the wolf heads and hold the one with the sapphire eyes that represents her mother kind of forward towards Shije, or Sifu.
Sifu, yeah.
I believe to die defending those you care about is the highest honor we can achieve. And those that do so will always be with us. And she's gonna wipe away a couple of tears of her own.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, none of these tell you how much it hurts. And that there's one thing you absolutely can't do, and that's to let it overwhelm you. Can't be controlled by that pain.
Very well said, Raven. She thinks for a moment, a long moment, on what you just said. And finally, she kind of reaches up and hugs you.
Gonna freeze for a second and then hug her back.
I'm gonna meditate more on this and think about what this means and try and prepare myself as best I can. Tomorrow morning when we drop out of Lightspeed, may I send a message to my father?
Of course. I'm always here if you need to talk.
She smiles and nods. I'm gonna go gonna talk to my master about this too.
Might be a good idea.
He nods and gets up and goes off to find Daenerys. Daenerys, where are you located at the moment?
I would say I'm probably in my room, just kind of trying to figure out this kyber crystal that I still have.
Yep, so your kyber crystal has now formed. It is translucent and see-through, but it is actually a physical kyber crystal that you can hold in your hands now.
Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
I can touch it.
You can touch it. You hear a summons at your door.
Come in.
Sifu enters the room and bows. Master.
What seems to be troubling you?
I had a vision of the near future.
Yeah, you've been having a lot of those lately.
Yeah. They've been getting more powerful. My father died in this one.
I can see why that troubles you.
He I saw him cut down by a red lightsaber.
Similar to what I saw in Fallujah, only reverse.
Yeah. I know I'm not supposed to feel bad or mourn, or she just seems very confused with what she's trying to say. She's trying to get across that, we're not supposed to hold possession of those in our lives, that we are supposed to let go. But she's 13 and it's her dad, and it's really hard.
Sifu, having the emotions are normal. Because you are being brought into this at a later age compared to most younglings, you deal with it in a different way. So it's only normal for you to face what you're facing. However, because your visions are so regular and they're so realistic, it's almost hard for me to even not be angry, upset, or show emotion that this is even happening.
Nods. I have found that the visions that I have when I am awake, often the die is cast. When I try to do things that would prevent what I see, I inadvertently cause them. And when I do nothing, my inaction causes them. It's almost a cruel joke.
Well, I wouldn't call it a cruel joke, but time is linear. Regardless of what happens, no matter what decision you make, it's going to happen.
You're
Let me
telling
give
me
you
I can't blame myself?
Well, I mean, you can blame yourself, but it's not always going to be your fault.
Nods.
In the beginning of this journey, we landed on a planet that was basically, for lack of a better term, a Sith cesspool.
I see.
With a crew that I barely knew, and trying to trust people who I thought were something else and ended up being something completely different, we walked into the darkest place you could ever imagine. I thought I saw my master. Similar to the rage and the anger that you were feeling, I felt. I've been through the Padawan trainings. I've been through the Jedi Knight instructions. I've been called master, but I'm still coming to terms with that myself. But nothing can prepare you until the moment you stand there and you feel utterly helpless. And you go against your emotions. And you do everything that you've been taught not to do. There's a funnier part to that story. Maybe you should ask Stompy sometime.
He nods.
But if it wasn't for everyone else, we wouldn't have made it out of that situation. And the same thing can happen no matter where we go. We're coming against Sith that we haven't seen in, I don't even remember the last time a Sith was spotted.
It's been, thousands of years before you were
Right.
born.
And as far as I know, I'm completely just as unprepared as you are. And we're both going to have to learn how to handle it. But for now, no matter these visions, no matter the emotions, you have to trust the fact that the Force is always going to guide you. It's when you start to ignore it and you start acting upon your emotions instead of a clear mind, that's when the trouble begins.
Eris, that was very well said. You have taken well the lessons that Obi-Wan Kenobi taught you, passing on both your successes and also your failures and your uncertainties as well. Very good. Those would be important lessons for Sifu to know in the coming battles. She smiles and nods and bows once more low before you. Thank you, Master. I will meditate on this.
I think I need to do the same.
Very good. And she will leave and go back to Ozzy's chambers to meditate and prepare. If no one else has anything, we are going to arrive at Dantooine.
I'll go to Raven.
Okay.
Or I'll call her to the brig.
Mandalore
Raven.
Vizsla, you are summoned to the brig.
Raven's probably gonna walk in with her holopad muttering, like, if I send that there, I leave that up, like, open. Like, she's trying to figure out the best way to place ships and not having much luck.
You want the good news or the bad news first?
Let's start with the bad news.
No, I'm gonna give you good news first. So the back to plants are up and running. I'm having Isla send 10% of what's being processed right to Dantooine, and the rest is being sent to Hoth with our backup forces.
Raven's just gonna nod. Well, hopefully we managed to hold Dantooine for long enough for it to get there.
If you decide you want them split up in some other way, let me know. Or I can give you Isla's contact information. I was given clearance codes to go aboard the Lady in Waiting. I'll be doing so at my earliest convenience. That's the bad news.
And you want me to come with you?
Just for me and one fighter.
Good luck.
Would you have came with me?
Give you my word, I would.
Well, that would have been a dumb decision.
Been known to make those once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while. That was it.
Raven, you know that when you arrive at Dantooine, especially if Song's willing to let you use the Razorback in the battle, you could for sure lend him a stunt fighter to get there.
I can get you a fighter to get there if you need.
I figured. Could you also maybe get me a thermal detonator?
You
Is
are
that the thing I
less
can do?
you are less certain that you can get him a thermal detonator. But you, when you get back, I'll let you make a roll for it.
Okay. Maybe?
All right, I'm just, thinking if
I don't know.
I'm going down, I'd love to take out the entire, second in command ship of the Sith fleet is all. But if not, no big deal.
Wouldn't be terrible.
Well, try not to go down. Consider that an order.
Orders are for Mandalorians. I'm half at best.
Well, then at least give it half an effort.
I need something flatter than that. That's too
that was all.
big.
We can hear you, Anaris.
I'm sorry.
No worries. All right. The next morning, you arrive at Dantooine, and you find it's fine. Actually, everything's great. You arrive to find that you have managed to beat the Sith there with Galvin and Galvin and Ozzy and M3T4 working round the clock, keeping the engines running in overdrive. You have managed to beat the Sith there. Probably not by very much, but you can see already that around the planet, the Mandalorian ships that were stationed there have begun integrating Isla's fleet into their own and forming a main perimeter over the Jedi Temple and nearby landing sites so that it will not be easy for Sith to land any ground forces there. If they wanted to land ground forces, they have to on the other side of the planet, and it takes a long time to march an army across the planet. So they have to kind of win the space battle first, and then they can land forces. That's why we don't just say, how about we just land on the other end of the planet, because it's a pain in the ass to do that. You can, but it's a pain. You land on Dantooine in the exact same place that you took off from not more than 10 days ago. And waiting for you at the landing bay is Jedi Grandmaster Keela Voss, the older Togruta woman who, until recently, ruled over one of the largest bodies in the galaxy. Only now she rules over about 3 people. But she nods. Welcome back. I understand you were successful at Felucia.
Someone decided it'd be a great idea to experiment on a Rancor. Anyways, we have back to
looks at you
production.
like, That is a terrible idea.
And Raven's just like, yeah, I know.
Okay, well, I'm thankful that you were all unharmed.
From what I'm told, back to production's back online. We have some of it coming here, but hopefully it beats the Sith here.
Okay. Well, with any hope that will be the case. She glances over at Anaris. Master Eldin, I trust the trip was enlightening for both you and your Padawan. Sifu kind of like shuffles like to stand behind Anaris.
That would be a bit of an understatement, Grandmaster.
And she glances at the tattoo on Sifu's neck. Indeed. Well, it is good to have you back. I don't think, according to your reports, from what we heard, Tatooine has already been pretty much obliterated. It will not be long before the Sith arrive. I've begun to prepare defenses here. It'll please you to know that the fleets that we sent to Dak are currently under repair. Within a couple weeks' time, they should be war-ready once again. I have brought what few ships were ready to go, and they are here with me, and I have begun to try to assemble something of a defense around the fortification here. It has quite a ways to go, however.
Well, hopefully we can get it done. First comes to worst. There's nothing, like, super strategically important on Dantooine, right?
No, for the Mandalorians, it was a very like symbolic point because it was where the Jedi Temple was located, one of their ancient enemies. So like
Right.
having control of it was a big deal for them, but like no, not typically. It's not like Dak or Celeste would be. Those would be like major.
Right, those are-
right now.
There's no actual value here.
Yeah.
Cough, cough.
Dak and Celeste are the fight to the last ship because we can't give those up.
Yeah, kind of. Those would be painful to lose.
Worst comes to worst, we can always leave Dantooine.
She nods. I think it would be a good idea to have an evacuation strategy or something ready if this battle does not go to our liking.
I've been sending forces to Hoth.
Very good.
Figure at least if they're followed, they're not going near Dak or Celeste.
Good plan. Very well then. We should get radio up to our ships and let them know that if the evacuation order is given, get all important personnel off the surface and take off for Hoth. Very well.
I'm going to ask a quick question in the Grandmaster. Is it wise to leave the temple unguarded?
He kind of smiles. It is an ancient temple, very old. It houses, I'm sure, a great many secrets, but I don't see how we could possibly defend it. Not for long.
Not to mention that if you lose your clubhouse, you still have your club.
She nods at the somewhat crude metaphor about it, but he is correct. As much as this place does hold great meaning and value, the lives that defend it hold more.
The question for the GM: the lady in waiting is with the fleet that took Tatooine, right?
We're going to deal with that literally right now because
okay.
long-range scanners just went off.
Hey,
On the far side of the planet, a Sith fleet has emerged from hyperspace.
Oh, fantastic.
They, however, do not start a landing process on the opposite side of the planet. They have no intention of marching across an entire planet, so they have begun to circumnavigate the outer rim of the planet, where they will, begin bombardment and hopefully try to land forces. You estimate it will take about 2 hours for them to circle the planet and get into position.
All right.
with that evacuation order for Hoth, Raven's going to make sure all the ships up there get the memo that these things absolutely fall apart if they try to skip.
Got it. And one of them is going to radio back down to you, ask, does the order to withdraw take priority? As in, if you say go, it's time to go, or can we stay to fight if we feel like we have an opportunity?
We can give up the planet, but we can't get more ships as quickly.
Your orders are understood.
Endlor, get me a fighter. I'm going to try and buy you more time.
But that roll for the thermal detonator, what is that?
Yes.
Let's see. What would that roll be? Go ahead. You can make that as a perception roll against a difficulty of 2. One red, 1 purple, because I'm going to spend a dark side point. Because you'll be shocked to learn, I'm not sure I want Robbie to have a thermal detonator.
Thermal detonator when I go against when I go have a chat with Darth Toxis.
Yeah, I'm not certain I want you to have that.
I'd rather Robbie than Juxta have a thermal detonator, but you know.
You know what? That's
Oh.
fair. That's reasonable.
Success and 2 advantage.
All right.
I would like you to go tell Robbie Fat Stacks, like, hey, that guy that I gave the disruptor pistol to,
Yeah,
I also gave him a thermal detonator.
I'm going to tell him after this session, and he's going to be furious.
I
All
have
right.
a-
You are able to locate a thermal detonator for Song, as well as a Z-Wing, which he can pilot.
I just have to point out, both of the difficulty dice came up blank.
Great. Stellar.
I don't get
Galvin,
an
you had a
X-Wing?
question? No, you get a Z-Wing.
Yeah. So there's a giant kyber crystal under the temple, right? Would we
Yep.
know that, or was that only because
By
We've all
now,
seen it.
yeah,
Pretty sure I told everybody
yeah,
about
you'd be
it.
aware. There is a massive kyber crystal underneath this temple. Dare I ask why?
well,
Wonder.
considering what G2 did before, Galvin pitches the idea that we could rig said kyber crystal to detonate in case we retreat and they take over the planet.
Better yet, tell them we surrender and we'll meet them in the Jedi Temple and then blow it up when they get there.
Good God.
You were playing with fire, sir.
M3 looks over at you, Galvin, and nods. Statement. I have the necessary Sith encryptions to be able to communicate with the temple down below. I could detonate the kyber crystal similar to what I did on Coruscant.
That's not surprising.
Is that going to require any kind of setup, or
Is that something that they also have?
Statement. I am the only droid that I am aware of who has such capabilities. It would take me some time to reconfigure for a Jedi temple instead of a Sith temple, but the architecture is quite similar.
Mandalore, I would pull everyone as far away from that temple as possible, just to be on the safe side.
Probably already doing that.
So you're going to try and move your defenses away from the temple and off towards like the mountains off to the side?
Out of the blast radius, at least.
Okay, well, the blast radius, I'm going to tell you right now, is very, very big. As we saw on Coruscant, it does a big boom when this happens.
Yeah,
But
Raven is suddenly very nervous because during the downtime she was told,
I mean,
"Yeah, they can't blow this up."
No,
You
they
guys
can't.
say no. I just was pitching the idea.
Hold
They-
on. You said they can't?
To your so if they
So
could,
your knowledge does not mean they can or can't, Kelly.
here's the issue: if they could, why would they not have?
Okay, fair enough then.
Like they know that you're here, so like they
Okay.
would have already. The only
All
thing
right.
that you can surmise is perhaps HK-47 had some codes that they do not have access to right now.
Okay, but he was Revan's droid, so it seems weird
He
that
was.
Revan would have been like, all right, I guess only one of us can have these, so I'll give them to my droid.
Hmm.
But, all right, fair enough. All right, so yeah, I take the thermal detonator.
The idea, but she's expecting the Jedi to go, fuck no.
Yeah, and I'd also like to talk to Ozzy before I leave.
Very well.
But
Uh,
that can take place at any time.
Yep. So you are gonna all start setting up your defenses. So what do the defenses look like? Where are you fortifying yourself and preparing for the ground assault while your fleet admirals will be handling the defenses up in space right now? Where are you going to defend yourself from on the ground, and how? What's your plan?
I guess, what do we have, and what does everything look like around us so we don't put ourselves in a kill box?
So you are currently in the Jedi Temple, which is a large temple with a mountainside off to the right of it. There is a large, low flatland, which you can guess they're probably going to be is probably where they'll advance from because they're going to be coming with artillery, which doesn't move well over mountains. You have been able to salvage quite a bit from a lot of the ships that were downed in the war. Many of the guns have been torn off those old ships and remounted as like static turret defenses. So there's a bunch of those that are operational on the side of the Jedi Temple now. It has been kind of made into a fortress.
Well, if it's already a fortress, there's no point giving that up and losing time.
You only have 2 hours, so it is worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Are there, like, I'm assuming we have, like, fancy maps and such.
Yeah.
I'd also want to make sure, like, any flanks or anywhere they can come through, like, slip through the mountains, we have at least covered where we can't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, there are 3 sides of this temple that are technically exposed, and you won't know exactly which side they're going to land on until they start landing. They may try and land on all 3 and come at you from 3 different directions, to force you to split up. It's hard to know until they do it. The 4th direction, you can be relatively certain they won't because there's a mountain there. And like I said, it's hard to move artillery. Like there's like they're going to have AT-ATs. It's hard to move those over mountains.
Yeah, I'm going to have just about everything pointed out at the Flatlands then, with some in reserve to go wherever we need them.
Sounds good. All right. So the next couple hours are spent getting everyone ready for evacuation if necessary, and preparing to mount a massive defense against for what will be seen as probably the first major battle of the Sith Mandalorian War. Song, you are indeed given a Z-Wing stunt fighter, and you head down. Ozzy is actually at your landing platform, ready for you. She's been doing some last-minute like upgrades to it to try and give it a little extra shielding in case they open fire and give you a chance to run.
Oh, so somebody already told her that I'm leaving.
Yeah. Well, she
was like right there.
When she suddenly saw a Z-Wing reassigned to Song Vizsla, she was like, "Oh, okay, fair enough."
Yep.
She glances over at you. This is stupid.
Yep. But good news is that you get a ship out of it, and I'm going to hand her the access card for the Razorback.
She glances at it. You're giving me the Razorback?
I mean, I know she's not, great, but But do you have you ever had your own ship?
She smiles and hugs you. Hey, I'm borrowing the Razorback. Your ship. And another voice calls out, you have to show me how to make cookies. Don't you dare do something stupid. And Sifu approaches you from behind.
Well, thing about life is full of people doing stupid shit, so.
And I'm telling you, don't even think about it. She kind of gives you the 2-finger jab again in your chest.
All right, well, if I don't make it back, that recipe is hidden on the ship somewhere.
She kind of glares at you. I mean it.
It's okay. I'm going to take out the thermal detonator. Mandalore Vizsla gave me this.
She looks at it and is not certain that she feels any better about this. Very well. Both Ozzy and Sifu give you a very tight hug before they see you off on the Z-Wing. Technically called a Z-95 Headhunter is the name of the ship. All right.
And with that, I will let them know that I'm leaving and let Mandalore Vizsla know that I will try to take up as much of Darth Tox's time as I can, but assume that you have less than those 2 hours. And then radio the code or whatever it is to the lady in waiting.
So you blast off into the atmosphere, up into orbit, and you start going the opposite direction around. You're in a stunt fighter. It moves much faster than the frigates move, so you can get to them way faster than they get to you. If they were just sending their like TIE fighters over, effectively the TIE fighters over, they'd get there in no time flat, but frigates take more time to move. And you do indeed see it. You see the fleet. It is a massive fleet of about 1,000 ships, led by a ship larger than any you have ever seen in your entire life. It is humongous. It would be the equivalent of Vader's Superstar Destroyer at the end of Episode 6. This thing is huge. And as you start to approach it, you are hailed by a very angry-sounding voice going, "Who is this? What's your comm code?"
I send the code through. Here to negotiate Ayla Hutt's terms of surrender.
Goes and he checks it. You can hear him arguing with his superior. It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. And he nods eventually. Very well. You may proceed to hangar 6B. And from there, you're able to just punch that into the computer, and the ship pretty much guides itself in. You are entering a large hangar. Inside, you can see about there's probably about 100 ships in this hangar alone, and there's a lot of hangars. This thing must carry just an incredibly massive complement of stunt fighters in it. You land, and looking around, you can see droids mostly. A lot of the staff of the ship, because you would guess the staff of this ship is probably 100,000 people. Like, it takes a lot to run this ship. It is a lot of droids, but they always seem to be led by a person wearing black. You can guess that these are probably Sith.
There's only supposed to ever be 2 at a time.
Yeah, there's more than 2 in this room.
Yeah.
So you, as you exit the ship, there is, in fact, one of these Sith wearing a black hood and with a lightsaber on their hip, who is flanked by 6 droids, who nods. You are the representative for Isla the Hutt.
I am.
Excellent. You may follow us. And he turns to lead you.
I follow.
Mm-hmm. You are escorted down to the brig, where they have a holding room for you.
As we're walking, I don't know if I should. If they're all Sith, they're tapped into the Force as well.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be that smart being a new Force user. I want to try and use Seek to see if I
see your wife.
Can sense her. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead. Make your Force rating roll.
That's just a white dice, right?
Mm-hmm. White. Perfect. So he doesn't seem to notice as you tap into the light side. If you had tapped into the dark side, he probably would have noticed, but he doesn't seem to notice you tapping into the light side. You do sense your wife on this ship. She is about 3 floors down from you right now. You don't know much more than that, though. She's not particularly far away. You are led down to a holding room where you are disarmed. Yeah, they're not about to let you meet Darth Toxis armed. They approach you and begin to and take.
What is this really necessary? Where am I gonna go? What am I gonna do?
One of them just looks at you and rolls their eyes. The Sith does, and is like, and he has you disarmed.
All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to. Fuck.
60 Decibel says should have put the detonator up the bum.
I'm gonna try and keep one hidden or concealed.
What are you trying to keep concealed?
That's what I'm trying to decide.
You've got your disruptor pistol, your blaster pistol, and your thermal detonator on you.
And a molecular knife.
All
right, so I'm going to put the molecular knife on the table. I will then put the blaster on the table. I will then put the fake thermal detonator on the table.
Yep.
What are the reactions when I put a thermal detonator on the table?
The moment you put the thermal detonator on you, one of them grabs you and slams you down against the table and begins checking you.
Whoa!
Yeah, they are not particularly.
Okay.
They don't think that's very funny.
I then put the other thermal detonator up there.
Good. What is your?
And I'm going to try to conceal the disruptor pistol.
Got it. What is your stealth?
2 yellow, a green, and 2 blue.
Yellow, a green, 2 blue. So that's going to translate to 2 red, a purple, and 2 black.
Song has literally turned into Captain Jack from Doctor Who.
All right. They do not find your disruptor pistol, but they do find the rest, and they take it over to a different room to hang on to contraband until such time as you are either allowed to leave or you're not.
People don't bring a lot of thermal detonators on board.
They look at you. No. You
That'd
are
be
left.
too prepared.
You are left in the holding cell for some time. It's about 20 minutes, I would say. Make sure I've got this right, because I don't want to fuck this up. Yep. Okay. 20 minutes pass before the door opens. Before the door even opens, though, you feel cold. Like you have never felt in your entire life. You feel emptiness, misery, cold. Like the force is being drained out of you by even being near this presence. And the door opens, and in steps Darth Toxus.
Can you describe her? Since I think this is the first time I've seen her properly. Before it was just like on a.
Yep, I'm going to bring the picture back up for you. That actually is no. Oh, it is the picture of her. Great. Okay, great. I'm going to bring it up on stream. I'm actually going to give you the full picture too. Nope. Obviously, she doesn't have her lightsaber drawn right now, but this is what she looks like. So she is a somewhat tall woman, with a hood up over her head and a metal mask that comes down over the front. She has a pauldron that comes out to her left, and you can see both a sword and a lightsaber on her hip as she enters the room.
She looks human.
She's definitely humanoid. Her above the mask, you can see that her facial features, they look somewhat aged. You can't tell if it's because of how old she is or if it's because of exposure to the dark side for too long. It's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. But she enters and she looks at the Mandalorian standing there, closing the door behind her.
I take my helmet off. Is there like a table? Like, can you describe the room to me?
Yeah, it's a very simple room. You're in a relatively square room, metal walls and paneling. There's a table in the front or in the center of the room, and it's and a chair on the opposite side.
Yeah, I take my helmet off then and place it on the table. I realize that I would be graced with the presence of what are the Sith call their sidekicks again?
She kind of glares at you. But you can tell she's smiling underneath her mask. I am Darth Toxus.
And I am Song Vizsla. Isla told me that you had quite the...
She seems almost taken aback by the name you gave her.
That you gave her quite the deal to surrender.
Made her the same offer I made Suna before I killed him.
I tend to find that when you actually offer things other than death and dismemberment, that they tend to do what you want them to do. For example, I offered Isla one of the 5 planets that Suna used to control, and that's why she's still on my side and not surrendering to you. So,
I see. So arrogant. We shall see.
Just stating the facts.
Well, for the record, Suna did exactly what I wanted him to do. He died.
Yeah, all right. Well, fair enough then.
What did you say your name was?
Song Vizsla.
She seems to be getting increasingly annoyed.
Like an insight.
Yeah.
You want thing.
Go ahead and make a perception check. What are you trying to discern?
What her reaction to my name means? You said the first time she heard it, it took her by surprise?
Yeah, and now she seems increasingly annoyed.
Yeah, hold on. Perception, you said?
Yep.
Where are you? Perception. Okay. The difficulty?
1.
What was that? It's a triumph and 2 advantage.
Triumph and 2 advantage. Great. Yeah, doesn't take an expert to know she is very annoyed by what she's hearing. She's clearly trying to process it, trying to understand what it means, trying to figure out what the angle is.
Does my reputation precede me?
You suddenly feel your throat closing, and it's impossible to get any air down. She
How
holds her
far
hand
away
up.
how far away from me is she?
I don't know. She's probably 5 feet from you at most.
So short range.
Definitely short range if you want to try to shoot her.
I'm not
But-
going to shoot her, but I am going to pull the pistol. Sort of like the, when you see movies where like one person puts the blade up, the other person puts the other blade up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She watches you pull the
That's-
pistol up and doesn't seem to think anything of it. As
Be civil.
She glares and ignites her lightsaber. I will burn your eyes out of your skull if you ever say my father's name again.
I put the pistol back into the holster.
She is visibly shaking with rage.
Has she let go after I put the pistol away?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She drops you back down to your feet.
Your mother's on the ship.
She's again somewhat taken aback. And then it dawns on her who she's talking to. Oh, the bitch can't tell the truth about anything, can she? Oh, if only I had known the truth, I wouldn't have made Suna's death so incredibly painful. Not dead on assignment after all, Father.
So this is a daughter I didn't know about then.
No, you know her. You see it above that mask. Looks just like your wife. Maybe a little corrupted by the dark side, but you know Suneazi when you see her.
Oh, okay. Wait, who did she say that she killed?
Suna the Hutt.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just sit down in the chair.
Yeah. She starts to pace as she thinks about in her head about this strange twist. You've been alive all this time.
In a sense.
I could kill her. But no. Where would the fun be in that?
I know a Mandalore who says that death is the easy way out.
Oh, well, I'll allow you to be the judge of that song, Visla. She summons in her guards. 4 of them, 4 Sith this time, enter the room. She smiles. I am due down on the planet's surface. Take him and put him in with the witch. Let him keep his disruptor pistol. I think he's going to want it. And she leaves.
I follow them then.
Mm-hmm. They start escorting you down. Meanwhile, back on the planet. I scroll down. You have all been setting up for the last couple hours after Song left. It doesn't seem like he was able to buy you a whole lot of time. It took about the 2 hours that you were expecting it to. And the Sith fleet is now approaching. It is nearly in range. You can see most of it at this point. Raven, do you have any final orders or decrees for your people?
Can't really think of anything that I haven't already said, except she's going to get like an encrypted and encoded message off to Katra of like, we might have to give up Dantooine, and like tell her somewhere else to go.
Got it. You were able to get the message off world. Galvin, M3T4 has approached you and nods. Master, good news. I have almost completed preparations to detonate the Kyber crystal here, if necessary.
All right. Would you be able to do that from a ship off planet?
I believe so, Master. As long as communications on the planet are still stable, I should be able to do this.
All right. We'll only be using that as a last resort. Thank you, M3.
What would you have me do during the battle, Master?
We'll need tend any wounded. We'll definitely have. I'm sure we'll have plenty of need for a medic. So
Understood, Master. I will do my best to aid those in need. Correction, those on our side in need.
yes.
Stumpaka and Anaris, you are both put in charge of defenses of different parts of it. Basically, since there is a northern, eastern, and southern side, one of each. You are Stumpaka. You're given the southern side, and Anaris, you are put in charge of the eastern side. Sifu,
Man, I wanted the eastern side.
all right, fine. You can have the eastern side. Anaris, you get the southern side. Raven, you're handling the main force on the northern side. Galvin, you're going to be moving around between different sides, repairing turrets as they get taken out, and which one or whatever you can bring back online is helpful, of course. Anytime you can shoot back. And Sifu is going to be assisting you, Anaris, right now. Yeah. The battle is growing precariously close. And just as the Sith come into range, a broadcast goes out. And on every ship, every monitor, both planet side and in space, your men see it on their personal holocrons. A message goes out. On that message, you see Song Visla on a ship, looks a lot like the Razorback, and he says this: information is key in this galaxy. Well, I'm going to give you something you can use in that regard, but you have to promise me that you're going to use it to sow more chaos in this galaxy. When Mandalore Somnus started this war, it wasn't Somnus. It's been Katra Vizsla masquerading as him the entire time. And that message starts playing on loop. Up in space,
Probably better hope he dies.
I gave that to Isla, right?
You did.
Okay,
And
just making
Raven,
sure.
as you look up into space, you suddenly see a bunch of large blue distortions in space. You'd like to make a difficulty 1 gunnery check.
Hold on, I think I'm actually good at that.
That's good. Well, I think
Where
it's agility
is
based, so yeah.
gunnery?
Should be in your combat skills.
You said difficulty 1?
Yep.
3 success, 3 advantage. Let's go.
Very nice. Yep. So you look up and you recognize these large blue distortions. These are ion blasts. These are used to generally disable ships. The concerning bit is they are coming out of ships on your side of this battle and not going elsewhere. They seem to be detonating upon themselves.
What?
It doesn't take you very long to realize that Isla has betrayed you. And
Of course she did.
has just crippled half your fleet before jettisoning into, or before taking off into hyperspace. as the Sith begin to open fire
And
on
you
your
tried
fleet.
to make me feel bad for wanting to kill the bitch.
I might have decided to have her betray you when you started telling me you were going to stab her in the back. I don't know yet. I was
But
thinking
I
about it from the
haven't.
beginning, but you haven't.
Wow, metagamer over here.
I had to think about it. She is ruthless, and I did tell you that. But she has her ship fleet has taken off, and the Sith have begun to open fire on your rather crippled fleet.
Great.
Raven, you suddenly get messages hurling down towards you, asking what your orders are. You find out that about 30% of your fleet up there has been had their engines knocked out by ion blasts.
Okay, I, as a player, have no idea. So what do I do in that case?
I would say you could make a warfare check, knowledge warfare.
How about leadership?
Leadership would work. I think that's a great
Cool.
roll.
Because Darksaber gives me bonuses to that.
It's true, it
Look,
does.
I once let somebody roll deception to try and navigate themselves out of a haunted forest, okay?
I mean, fair
So-
enough. I will allow for leadership.
Against what?
No difficulty.
Okay.
Let's see
So
what you're-
because they're Mandalorians, I also get a free success and advantage because of the Darksaber. So 1 success, 4 advantage.
1 success, 4 advantage. All right. With your 4 advantage, with your 1 success, I'm going to give you an idea of what you should do, and with your 4 advantage, I'm going to give you an idea of how you should do it.
Okay.
The number one important thing to do right now is you need to get their minds off of the message that they got from Song.
Yep.
You cannot have them thinking about that. You can deal with that, just not right now. You're at war with the Sith, and they're shooting at you. You know the number one priority is to get them focused on battle, and the easiest way to go do that would be to play to their Mandalorian pride. Usually, like they just got stabbed in the back. They are in a corner. They are now in what should be an impossible battle, and Mandalorians love impossible battles.
So she's going to send off something to the effect of, since time immemorial, we have been called the galaxy's greatest warriors. Let's show these bastards why.
Yes. Galvin, would you like to try to make a difficulty 3 computers check for me to try and get your message onto everything instead of Isla's?
Wait, my mess. Oh, yeah.
You want?
So
We want.
My message.
Yeah, Raven.
My brain was
Sorry.
Like, wait, yeah, sorry. I thought you said my brain was like thinking Raven for a second. I was like, wait, why would I want to stop Raven's message? Yeah, I can do that. You said computers check.
Yep. Difficulty 3.
Now, the battle hasn't technically started yet, right? So would M3 still be with me?
Yep, M3 is with you. It's just starting up in space. Like you can see the first shots are starting to come across. They're still at pretty long range, so most of their shots are going wide yet. They're at the edge of in range. So it's going to get worse, especially if you don't get your engines back online, but like right now it's still nothing too bad happening.
Could I have him assist me for the blue die?
You may.
Okay. So it's 3 purple.
Yep.
Well, I was going to spend $5 to give you another blue die, but it's too late now. How did you manage to get 3 blank dice?
3 blanks and a lot of advantage. All right. So you're not able to do exactly what they did. Like what they did, they somehow managed to get this onto every screen across all the people on every like anyone on your wavelength. They basically caught. You're not able to counteract that. Their message is still playing. However, you are able to splice into it for a moment and play your message before it goes back to replaying what their message was. So indeed, Raven comes on and starts rallying the people to action. And the good news about this is they are Mandalorians. They are very prideful. They just got stabbed in the back, and as much as they're probably pissed at Song right now, and definitely pissed at you, Raven, they're pissed at Isla and the Sith a little bit more. So they're going to rally to war and start shooting back. Then the message goes back to the other thing, which is less than ideal. But, yeah. All right. Meanwhile, back on the Lady in Waiting. Song, you are marched down a corridor and taken to a cell. They do not try to take your blaster or your disruptor pistol from you. They let you keep it. And the door opens and you are pushed into the room. You recognize the room that you're in. When you had your vision of Darth Toxus, this was the room that vision was in. It is a beautifully decorated room. Mostly done up in a light motif. It's got marble floors and paneled walls. A dining table covers the center of the room with a banquet laid out upon it.
Was this where I saw Darth Toxus before?
Mm-hmm. This is the room.
Okay.
Along the walls, beautiful pieces of art hang, and Song, you can recognize them as the style. They are very much to Lelia's tastes. And indeed, sitting at the end of the table is Lelia Vizsla. I'm going to put up a picture of her. Just give me un momento to grab said picture. Where are you at, Lelia? There you are. Please ignore the lightsaber. She doesn't actually have a lightsaber. This is roughly what she looks like. Although the girl you see looks a bit older than this. She has the first signs of gray coming into her hair. But she still looks beautiful as ever, just as you remember her. She glances up, seeing you enter, and eyeing the disruptor pistol in your hand.
It's holstered.
Sorry, eyeing it in your holster. Are you here to kill me, Song?
Place my helmet down on the table and take a seat. What good's that going to do?
Suppose. I did tell you if you came here, it would bring you only pain.
How did this happen?
He kind of gives a pitiful laugh at that.
Have I gone crazy? Is Zahn somewhere on the ship too, ready to walk out as well?
No. No, you haven't gone crazy.
Well, because I distinctly remember burning 3 bodies and 2 of them are on this ship.
I've spent 13 years trying to think of what the right words would be to explain this.
The truth.
Well, I think the truth is even crazier. I still don't have the right words for you, but I will show you. She disappears, and the whole room begins to change. The walls shimmer and morph, and before long, you are standing in a room that you recognize. It is the living room of your home, although not as it is now. It looks much as it did in an era now past. Dark, dimly lit, as it so frequently was, but it's peaceful. You can tell it's been closed down for the evening. People are upstairs, probably sleeping. You stand now in the living room of your home. What do you do?
I hear anything?
Yeah, you hear snoring coming from upstairs.
I'm gonna walk to my kids' rooms.
You look inside Suneazi's room first, and you see her there. She's sleeping, resting peacefully in her bed. And you go to check on Zahn as well. And indeed, he is there as well, also resting. He's got the covers kind of kicked off him and is splayed all over the bed. But he's there, and he's
I
resting.
walk forward and try to touch his hair.
You do. He doesn't seem to react to it, but you can feel it in your hands. It's like he's right there, but he doesn't seem to react to it.
Pull the covers up on him.
Yep.
Head to my room.
In your room, you see Lelia sleeping there. She's alone. You realize that this is probably then the last night that or the night before you found out what happened, or maybe even the night of. You'd been gone on a mission, one of your longer ones, about 7 months. Not horrifically unusual, but been a while. And as you enter the room, she's facing away from you, but you feel that familiar cold again. Although it's way worse than what you experienced with Artaxis. It is someone infinitely more powerful, infinitely more dark. And apparently, you're not the only one who feels it, because Lelia wakes up from her sleep in a start and looks around. And as she sits up, you can see she is very pregnant. She is easily 8 months.
She see me?
No, she doesn't seem to see you or pay you any mind. She's just looking towards the door, and you hear downstairs an explosion of some kind. The door blown inwards. She panics for a second before you see her calmly exhale, and her appearance changes. You can see it start at the top and go down. She thins out somewhat. Her pregnant tummy disappears, and now she looks exactly as you remember her.
Mm-hmm.
She has hidden her pregnancy. And a moment later, Darth Revan stands in the door. He reaches out and kind of glares at her. She looks back up, confused. Who are you? He nods. I am Darth Revan. And you are Lelia Eros, are you not? He kind of glares. Not anymore. Yes, I know. Lelia Vizsla now. You recognize Eros as the name she went by before she married you.
Mm-hmm.
You are Sith, and you will return with me. I have need of your abilities. She kind of grits her teeth at that. I will do no such thing. And he does not like that answer. He reaches out and starts to force choke her. Her hand immediately goes to like where her belly is. It's instinctive, but she has to catch herself and force her hand away to not give away what she knows. She kind of struggles for a moment, choking out, but he glares. You will return. The Sith are coming back, more powerful than they have ever been, and I need all who descend from their line. She kind of sputters and coughs, choking, and shakes her head. No. At that moment, you hear Suneazi's voice call out, Mama! And Darth Revan glances back at the source of the sound, nods. Very well, then. Perhaps I have no need of you after all. And he drops her. She's practically unconscious. He smiles at her. If you want them back, come alone to Korriban. See you there. And he leaves as she passes out. She then appears next to you, the one that you've been speaking to in the room, and glances at you. I spent hours after this trying every permutation of explanation or apology that I could think of. None of them even
Decide
came
to
close.
go with a Sith Lord took our children?
He had already taken them. I went to go get them back.
Without me?
He nods. He would have killed you. Ultimately.
Well, at least our children wouldn't be alone right now, would they?
Yeah. I was wrong. But I had another life that I had to worry about. I thought I could leave you something that might make you go home. I didn't know if you would or not, but that's all I could think to do. After that, I went to Felucia, where I knew he wouldn't be able to see me. Gave birth to the child.
Tifu.
She glances at you, almost surprised. He kept her name. When I learned you hadn't gone home, I sent her to Raj. I thought then, at least if you did go home, you'd be in her life in some way. Sifu Visla. The vision fades away. You're back in the room. She's sitting at the other end of the table.
Well, that explains one mistake. Or a few. 13 years I've been doing nothing but drifting among the stars from job to job. Why didn't you reach out to me?
She looks at you. You just answered your own question. I didn't know where you were.
Oh, bullshit. You have, what, Sith powers? Jedi Force? I don't know how it works. I've manifested somehow my own for 3 days, and I was able to find out where you were. You've hid them from me all your life. You couldn't find me?
No.
You were able to find Katra Vizsla, but you couldn't find me.
Because I knew where she was. I met her when Darth Revan tried to approach her. I knew where to find her.
How'd you find me on Korriban? On
Darth
Coruscant?
Because Darth Revan knew where you were. Don't know how, but he talked about Operation Red Lightning, led by partaken of by a Kane Yurka. I recognize the name. One of your pseudonyms. That is how I found you. Even then, I wasn't certain what I would show you. I didn't know what to say, but...
Get me? Help? I would have took the stars from the sky to protect my family.
Kind of smiles. You haven't seen what they're capable of. But you're right. I failed you.
You failed them.
He nods at that. More than anyone. Yeah. Meanwhile, back on the planet. So your forces, Raven, have begun to return fire, and they are fighting. However, with a good chunk of them damaged with ion engine failure, they a large Mandalore or Sith landing force has begun to put down on the planet's surface. You can see well off in the distance AT-ATs, AT-STs, all kinds of different ship or all kinds of different ground artillery have begun to come online and are beginning their march towards you from the south. You give the order to begin fire as soon as they're in range, and the battle itself proper begins. So I'm going to have you all roll for initiative. Whoever's there, that is. You're not surprised, so you may use your vigilance will. Actually, I'll let you pick because you know this fight's coming. You can use your cool presence or your vigilance will. Up to you.
And that's just for the ones that are in that area, right?
Nope. All, because there's no forces landing on the south or the east, so you're all just gonna kind of rotate over until there's need to be on the other side.
And there's no difficulty, right?
Nope. Not on the initiative roll.
Vigilance. All right.
We're using vigilance for this.
You can use vigilance will or cool presence. I'm giving you your choice.
Mine are the same either way, so.
All right. So we've got 2, 2, 2, 3. So it's going to go enemies, and then the heroes are going to go. Okay. So they're going to take their first turn, and they are going to close to what is for them long range and start opening. The AT-ATs are going to begin opening fire on your defenses. So that's going to be roll. Their fire is their gunnery skill. Actually, let me just make sure, because I don't think it does have this, but it might. No, I didn't think it did. Okay. So we're going to just do this as this one. All right, so they're going to roll yellow, 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 green, and they get a blue die as well. All right, and the defenses at long range are going to be 3 purples. 1 success and 1 triumph. Okay, so they begin to open fire. And they are going to spend their triumph to deal a crit and destroy one of your turbo lasers shooting back. You have 6 turbo lasers to shoot back with. They just destroyed one of them and have taken your defenses down to 95% efficacy.
Cool.
On your turns, you may attempt repairs. You may attempt to shoot back either with one of your guns or with one of the turbo lasers. Spoilers, the turbo lasers hit like a truck. Yeah, it's completely up to you, though, how you want to spend your turn. Raven, you may also use it to do leadership checks to try and improve your forces or whatever you want to try and do. So,
Okay.
all 4 heroes, you may now go.
I mean, if no one else has anything, I'm going to start off with a leadership check because, yeah.
Do it. All right, Raven, give me a, this is pretty terrifying. Give me a difficulty 2 leadership check.
2 success, 3 threat, but I also get an advantage and a success from the Darksaber, so I'm taking, 2 strain?
Yep, 2 strain, 3 successes. With that, everyone may add a success and an advantage to their rolls this turn. As Raven rallies the troops and stands tall, and you see her actually take her sniper rifle from this distance, which is an unbelievable distance, this is extreme range, and she fires. And shouldn't hit anyone important, but she picks off a droid from this distance. It's kind of like a show of like they can be taken down, and everyone lets out a cheer as they begin to fire back. All right. Anaris, Stampaka, or Galvin, who would like to go next?
I'll go.
All right. What would you like to do, Anaris?
Let's see. Are they currently attacking? Not yet, right?
They're approaching and attacking. They have opened fire.
Let's see. I'm actually going to see if I can use those lasers that you gave a spoiler about.
You want to try and fight? All right. So the turbo lasers, there's 5 of them that can currently be occupied. They require a gunnery check.
Okay.
So that's gunnery agility, and that the difficulty at long range, which you're at, is 3 purple.
Oh gosh. It's 3 greens against 3 purple, but I already have a success and advantage with that roll.
You have a success and an advantage. Also, because you are close to M3T4, remember, you may upgrade. Oh, no, sorry. He's for healing. Never mind. Sorry. So whatever you roll,
Alright.
add a success and an advantage. So that cancels out perfectly then. Okay, awesome. You fire back. Your blast goes just wide of one of the AT-ATs. It's not a bad shot for this range, and like you can tell, even like some of like the troopers out there are like, Jesus. All right, fine. I guess it's time to fight. They start to charge and move forward quicker. Stumpaka, Galvin, who would like to go next?
You said that one of the turrets was destroyed already. Can
Yep.
I attempt to repair one that's been destroyed, or
Yep, so you may attempt to either repair the defenses as kind of a whole, or you may specifically try to attempt to repair one of the turbo lasers.
okay? What have any other defenses been damaged, or is the laser pretty?
You've got 6 turbo lasers, but you also have just like a general like defensive number, which is down to 95% right now.
All right,
started at 100.
I'll work on the turret then.
All right, cool. Difficulty 3 mechanics check.
Would M3 still be with me right now?
Yep, he's in the air.
Okay.
You're all on the north side, or on the north side, yeah. So. Jesus.
What?
Jesus. Okay, well that's rough. All right. So 5 advantage. You may distribute your 5 advantage however you like. And you are not able to bring the turret back online. However, those are some rough purple dice. You have 5 advantage. What would you like to do with them?
I'll just give next person a blue die, and then, well, can that carry over to the next round? Because I think only 2 more people are.
Well, you can assign them to people. So you would just say like,
so it'd be on their next turn, then they get that. All right.
Yeah. So what you could do is you could give Stumpaka, Raven, and Anaris each a blue die on their next roll.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
All right. Stumpaka, your turn.
Okay, so I'm over here on the east wall. Like,
You're shifting up towards the north wall right now because no one's landed on the east wall, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not just going to stand here and defend against nothing.
Right. I mean, is there anything I could do?
You could hop on a turbo laser and shoot.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'm not good at it, but I can try
All right.
it.
Gunnery skill. Difficulty is 3 purple.
3 purple, okay. So it's green, purple.
It's a success and advantage, so that'll help out a little bit.
Yep, plus success and advantage. So you're actually going to succeed on the hit.
And I get a blue die.
Yes, you do get a blue die. All right.
Damn it.
So take a strain. However, you do land a hit. You are going to reduce their combat efficacy by 5% as well.
Yeah, I get.
This bot really hates us tonight.
The bot has been brutal
D1C3,
tonight.
Are you okay?
Yeah, D1C3 is pissed. All right. Background to their turn. They are going to continue to close the gap. They are making their way in. They are now at medium range, and they are going to shoot once again at your defenses. YYGG. Purple.
He is full on Skippy the Jedi tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I make a mechanics check on my turn to fix the dice spot?
There you go. They are going to spend their 2 advantage to activate for another crit and destroy a second turbo laser. There are now 4 remaining. And with 3 successes, they will reduce your defensive efficacy down to 1 for the hit, 1, 2, 85%. Back around to the players' turns.
I'm gonna do another leadership because
More leadership. All right. Well, remember you have a blue, and go for it. Difficulty is 2.
okay, so 3 advantage, no success
Got it.
because Darksaber. Thank you, Darksaber.
Thank you, Darksaber. So you do not succeed this time in giving everyone an advantage, but you will, or sorry, you do give someone, yeah, everyone gets to take an advantage. They don't get any successes this time. Next,
I'll shoot the guns again.
fire away. It's now only difficulty 2 per 2 purple dice.
Only 2 purples this time. Okay. Did I not do it right? Why did I not go here?
Space between
Yep,
the R
the
and the
space.
G.
Oh. I'm not a noob, I swear.
Great. So 3 success, no advantage. So you're going to fire back and reduce their combat efficacy to 85%. You see one of their ATSTs get blown up as it's approaching. Not bad. All right, Galvin or Stumpaka. Stumpaka, you notice that the first of their droid troops are beginning to reach the lines now. You could actually go down and fight physically if you wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go down and jump into melee combat there.
All right, go ahead. Make for me an epic attack roll. Difficulty is going to be 2 purple. You can use your lightsaber if you like. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there just the one droid, or are there multiple?
I mean, there's a
droids?
lot of droids. You're diving into the fray now. Like this is
Okay.
actually like, and you're not alone either. You're leading in a bunch of your Mandalorian troops as well.
Okay. I have a thing that I want to do, but I don't know what it does because I have to see page whatever.
Okay. What's it called?
Sarlacc sweep.
Ah.
It's the first time there's been like multiple things around me.
All right, the Sarlacc sweep. Let's see what the actual... You lash out at multiple enemies, striking them with a sweeping motion. You can make a single melee attack with a lightsaber against the primary target. The attack does normal damage to the primary target and 5 points of damage to the secondary target if the primary hits. All right, I love it. Wait, that's Saga Edition. Fuck you, Saga Edition. I was like, wait, damage? We don't do damage, we do wounds. What the hell?
Okay, I got it over here.
All right.
Says make a Sarlacc sweep action, making a lightsaber check with +1 difficulty against one engaged target. I can spend 2 advantage to hit 1 additional when engaged.
Nice. Okay, awesome. So you're gonna make it with against a red and a purple instead of 2 purple. But if you hit, you can spend 2 advantage to hit someone else too.
Okay. All right then. And I did not get any blues, right?
No. Wait. Yes, you get a blue.
I get a blue. Okay.
Yeah.
Dun. And then that am committing my force die to give me an extra brawn, and then I get a blue. Then you said a red, purple.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that works. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, damn.
Holy shit. Plus you get 1 advantage. So here's what's going to happen. You dive over the last barricade and just come down and bury your axe down, bisecting one of these droids before you swing to the right and cleave through one and swing to the left and cleave through one, clearing out a space. And you hear behind you the Mandalorians just start cheering as the, like there's a moment of like, never thought I'd die standing next to a Jedi.
I just let out a triumphant battle cry.
Yes. And the Mandalorians, they get kind of fucking into it. They're like, all right, let's do this. All right, Wookiee Squadron, let's go. And they follow you out into the fray. That is going to really start fucking up some of the combat efficacy of this. They're going to
I
lose.
think they'll feel a lot better about themselves later when people are like, don't worry, he's not actually a Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. Their combat efficacy is going to drop to 70% for them. That's going to really fuck them up.
Yeah.
Galvin, what's it going to be?
All right, we'll take another crack at the turret.
Okay. Mechanics check.
Just realized something. Where is Sifu in all this?
Sifu, you have not seen her for a moment. You assume she is somewhere in the battle fray. She seemed like she was going to fight. Last you saw, she was next to Keela Voss, which is not the worst person to be next to. Come on,
That is
D1C3, you can
taking
do this.
forever.
D1C3, you can do this.
The keys broke.
Wow,
Our dice
you
spot broke.
the
Did
dice
we
spot.
actually break the dice spot?
Oh my god.
Yellow, 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 green, blue, purple.
It's
purple.
tapping into the Kyber crystal. That's what's happening.
Okay, there you go. 5 advantage, 3 success. That one's just apparently never going to work.
Just-
Is this
Just
still
keep
going?
going.
It
Yeah,
is
it's still going.
Still going.
All right. So 5 yellow, 3 advantage. Yeah, you are able to bring the turbo laser back online, and one of your guys hops on it and immediately fires, blasting out a small core of troops for another 5% combat efficacy on them. Back around to the top of the order. The second line now of AT-ATs is fired. They're going to now start shooting twice a turn at you. Yellow, yellow, green, green, purple. Now they're at range 1, too. So purple. Okay, and yellow, yellow, green, green, purple. Okay. So the first one is going to hit and reduce your combat efficacy. It's going to blow kind of a hole into the side of the Jedi Temple. It's exactly where the old hole was blown into it, and you can tell one of your engineers is super pissed off about it. He's like, that took me literally a fucking month to fix. God damn it. So your combat efficacy is now reduced down to about 55%.
Goodly.
Yeah, your defensives. As this is happening, with one of your turbo lasers down, you see a ship, 2 large Sith dropships come down and land on top of the temple.
Blow up
You-
the temple. Now's the chance.
You can imagine that
There's
some.
a reason I left some of our guns pointing in unexpected directions.
You now have Sith troops invading the temple that you're currently mounted on the side of.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. It is your turn. Hero's turn.
Shit. Now I was just gonna hop in a turbo laser, but now I'm like, should I go hunt them down?
You can make a leadership roll to determine what would be the best course of action.
Is that going to consume my turn?
No, I won't make it take your turn. This is just a check to see if you know. Difficulty's 3. Hard decision.
Figure out what the best call is.
Yeah. 2 successes. Nice. Dividing your forces to go root through your own temple against 2 dropships worth is probably a bad idea with the bulk of their force still attaching. The issue is that, yeah, if they come out of the temple, they're going to be able to start shooting you in the back. The best way would probably be to, like, guard the doors so that, you have them bottlenecked if they start trying to come out.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna send that message back to whoever is back there.
Aneris, you get a message from Keela Voss a moment later saying that she's going to help guard the exits to the temple to make sure no one can get out, and she asks for you to come help.
All right, I jump out and I start running towards them.
Yep. So on your turn, Aneris, you will arrive to find that some droids are there. So when you go, you'll be fighting droids.
All righty. Is it my go, or is it still Raven's?
It's Hero's turn, so Raven, it is still your turn.
Okay, I am then going to hop in a turbo laser, pop a true aim maneuver to get 2 upgrades and a boost die, and just
Can you do
open
that?
up on
Is that
them.
light ranged only, or is that gunnery?
I don't think it says.
True aim. Let me check.
Once
makes
per
a
round,
ranged
you may
attack.
perform-
I guess gunnery is technically a ranged attack, so yeah, that's fine. Okay. 1 purple is the difficulty.
Three success, 2 advantage.
Very nice. All right, cool. You some of your turbo lasers go off. You blow out one of the legs of one of the AT-ATs, and you see it just kind of as it collapses to the ground. It is still shooting forward, which is kind of infuriating, but it's locked in position now because it's down a leg. Okay. Up next, who's up?
I'll go. Got to kill me some droids, right?
Yep, fight you some droids. Go ahead, combat check, difficulty 2.
Yellow, green, purple, purple. Now, if I could actually type it.
Nice. 1 success. All right. You are able to cleave through the first couple droids that start making their way down, while Keela Voss assists you, also taking down. You have never seen Keela Voss fight with a lightsaber. It is a pretty impressive sight. She is pretty goddamn good. She's an Ataru striker, and for her age, especially
Taru Striker?
an Ataru striker. It's the same stance that Raven uses, and for her age, especially, like you're pretty impressed. All right, Galvin or Stumpaka, you went, I think, right? Or was that last turn?
That was last turn.
So yeah, Galvin or Stumpaka, you're up.
I'll attempt to make like general defensive repairs.
Okay, go ahead. No difficulty. Just see what you can get on it. Mechanics check.
See if this actually works.
Cool. 4 successes. You are able to restore 8% of your defensive efficacy. So you're up to 63%.
Okay. I mean, so I have 3 ranks in solid repairs. Would that help in any way? It says it only works for starships or vehicles, so I would imagine maybe not.
Well, yeah, for hull trauma. Yeah, you're not really repairing hull trauma. You're actually bringing things back online. So yeah,
Okay.
no, I would say not in this case.
Fair enough.
All right. And Stumpaka.
Okay. I assume there's lots more droids to smash while I'm down here.
Stumpaka, you get the feeling that there are droids forever. that you could go on for eternity, hacking away.
Okay, and no one's like told me to do otherwise, right?
Nope. They have basically told you Stompy smash.
I'm gonna keep smashing.
Literally been what Raven told Stompy.
Where's my? And it's red purple again.
Yep.
And did I have another blue die or no?
You will not have blue die this time.
All right, and I'm gonna just do another Sarlacc sweep and
Very
keep
nice.
going. Oh,
Hey, you didn't break it this time.
All right.
oh,
So you're not able to activate your Sarlacc sweep, but you do hit, and you do cleave through another droid. And some of the guys are like, "It was more impressive last time, but it was still pretty cool." So they continue. They continue fighting with you. They think you're pretty badass still. They
All right,
tell
good.
you, listen, it happens to all of us. It's okay. Back on the top of the order, they are gonna start shooting again.
so I started blasting.
So I start blasting. 1 difficulty because they're in range now. Yellow, green, green, purple. Okay. So
You
they're
have
gonna,
those.
they're gonna continue to blast away at your defenses, which are now starting to crumble. The battle's now been going on for quite a while. I know obviously we've only been a few rounds, but it's mass combat, so they take longer. Your defenses are starting to crumble and fall away. And Raven, as you look up, you can tell the space battle is not going particularly well either. Turns out having 30% of your fleet crippled and also being half the size now of the other fleet is not a good starting point for battles. Don't get me wrong, they're Mandalorians and they're fucking good pilots, so they're putting up a fight. But like, probably better than anyone would expect, but they're losing. So yeah. But that is to the top of the order.
Up have we gotten them?
Say again?
How fucked up is their ground forces? Or are their ground forces?
Their ground forces are probably down around 60%. Your guys are probably around 33-ish.
That's not great.
Like, you've dealt damage to them, but they're definitely starting to like gain momentum and move forward. They were always a larger force, so you're not horrifically surprised.
I'm gonna try a leadership role because I don't know what to do. What did you have me do that against before?
Difficulty 3.
Don't like that I only have 2 yellows against 3 difficulty. That's not great. So that doesn't tell me anything, does it?
No, you rack your brain for what to do here. A lot of thoughts come to mind. Like I'll definitely put some thoughts out there. You could try and rally your forces tighter and try and just like make a really difficult bulkhead from the break. But if they start bombarding you from space once the space battle is more thoroughly in their hands, that's going to be a real bad day for everybody. You have the option to evacuate, which is a plan that you call for. You could call for a tactical retreat, or you could try to withdraw into the temple. And maybe you could defend better from inside the temple. That's not.
They're in the temple.
There are, enemies in the temple. That is true.
Only 2 drop ships worth. What is that, like 12?
Yeah, depends on what got dropped. But yeah, if it's 12 droids, that's no problem.
But if it's 12 Sith, that's a different problem.
That
Or
would be harder to
2
deal with.
Sith Rancor.
Oh my god.
Allie, go ahead and make a note.
Robbie, there's only one Sith Rancor.
Oh, of course.
What?
I thought there are always 2 of them.
Always 2.
Oh
No
my
more,
God.
no less. You do get radioed up from the current state of defenses. It ain't good.
I don't want to just give this up, but this is a tactical retreat we can make.
It is an option.
But also, well, no, honestly, Raven's Mind, fuck song.
Well, I mean, perhaps, but that probably isn't going to help you a whole lot here.
Yeah, besides, what would Katra think of that? Come on.
Leave him. I think I'm gonna. Do I want to give it one more round? Because they've been beating the shit out of us. Because now they're shooting 3 times.
Yeah, I rolled pretty bad on that last round. If I had rolled better, I would have gotten you almost obliterated. They won't shoot 4 times next time, I'll tell you that much. But
Yeah, but
I only need to roll 7 successes on 3 rolls.
Yeah, this isn't where we make our final stand. So we're peacing out.
Okay.
We can blow up the Jedi Temple afterwards.
You call for the tactical retreat. You begin to shift your way down towards the port that you've constructed on the east side of the temple. In doing so, obviously, they open fire on you hard now that you're not shooting back quite as much. Anaris, you are standing up near the up on a high level of the temple, and you're next to Keela Voss. And you've been carving up droids that have come through, and now you feel very cold. You feel much like you did on Korriban. And down the hallway, you see a red lightsaber ignite and begin to approach. Anaris, did I lose you?
Still here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You didn't say anything, so I was like, maybe?
Processing.
Yeah, processing. Exactly.
I'm not sure how to react at this at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't take long before Darth Toxus emerges from the shadows, approaching you. Keela Voss glances at you, and she offers a smile. Run.
Is that a wise decision?
It is the only decision, Anaris. Run.
I've trusted you once, and I'll trust you again, and I'm just going to book it.
She watches you go before turning and igniting her blades as she looks at Darth Toxus. Very well, then. And they begin to fight. Anaris, as you start scrambling down the side of the temple, making your way around towards the port side where the Razorback is, a blast comes and catches you from an AT-AT blasting you kind of forward, and you kind of start to stumble and scrape and slide down the edge of this pyramid-shaped temple. You land hard and kind of bang your head a little bit on the ground as you land, but you're not unconscious. It just didn't feel particularly good. And as you look to your right, you see the feet of a Force Ghost that is standing next to you.
Oh, here we go.
It is Rhea Jax, whom you have not seen since the end of episode 1. He glances down at you. Oh, my temple has seen better days. She reaches down and offers you a hand up. Surprisingly, you are able to grab her hand and get back up to your feet.
You picked a very fine time to show up.
Well, I did tell you I was going to get you help, did I not?
You did.
And Daenerys, as you look up and look around, suddenly this looks very familiar. You've seen this moment. You've seen it before. Twice in a vision. You see the long black pyramid. And as you look up, seeing the battle that has gone so poorly for you, you see Mandalorian ships start jumping into the atmosphere out of light speed. And as you look off to your left, indeed, you see hundreds of men appearing, and they all begin to ignite their lightsabers. All different colors. All but red. As the Jedi Rangers have arrived to help.
Some things never cease to amaze me.
Rhea Jax smiles.
Nice to know.
Rhea Jax smiles. Not all visions portend disaster. And she nods and she disappears slowly. Best of luck to you. They will help in your escape. And indeed, as the battle takes on a new life up top, out in space, some of these ships break through the new Imperial line and make their way down, and you see dropships start coming down to basically airlift up Mandalorians and start scrambling them up off the planet. You continue to run, making your way towards the Ruby Eclipse, and Raven, a ship comes down right in front of you, and on it, Raj Rook hops down and off it and smiles. My friends! Wonderful days!
Had better.
He nods as he looks out to the battlefield. Yes, it would appear so. I do apologize, Mandalore. I couldn't get a transmission through their blockade. I thought you could use some help.
Always appreciated, but who's in command of Terrace?
He gives you kind of a forlorn look. It was lose you here or lose Terrace there. As you said, Terrace isn't that important. That said, you can expect the rest of the Imperial fleet is not going to be far behind us, so I suggest we get out of here.
Let's go.
He nods and starts helping bring people up onto the various dropships and transports. He watches as they kind of one at a time start lifting up and we start clearing out. The Imperial's now closing in, getting very close to the temple. And as everyone left, starts to pile onto the Razorback, a body comes flying off the temple and crashes down in the port, very dead. Keela Voss is, you can see she is burned all over with electrical scars. And,
Okay, I'm not okay with this.
Yeah, the Jedi Grandmaster is dead.
And the club gets smaller.
Yeah. Congratulations, Daenerys. You're very close to being Grandmaster at this point. Sifu also peeks her head down from the ramp of the Razorback and starts, hurrying people on as Sith approach. Raven,
I mean, we're all getting on, right?
I presume, unless you're trying to set up
Yeah.
a defense here.
I mean, they came to help us evacuate, basically, so
Yeah, that's what they're here for.
that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. So
And then once our people are out of range, bye-bye Jedi Temple.
got it. So you start to pull people onto the ships, right? You get them onto everyone you can onto the Razorback. Galvin, you make it on. Stampaka, you make it on. Although you had to kind of like be dragged away from the field. You've got like literally like 6 droid heads in your hand that you have not let go of, that you're pulling along with you. So you're pretty thrilled about it.
Give commendations to the Mandalorians that decide to try and pull a Wookiee away from battle.
Exactly.
Stompy's like trophies.
Yeah, exactly.
For days.
As everyone is piling on, I need everybody to make a... What would this be? I would say... Just give me a flat agility roll.
Oh,
What?
So that's just number of green you have in the stat?
Yep.
I never know where agility is.
I got 2 successes and 2 advantage.
It's one of your base stats.
2 success, 5 advantage.
And you roll it equal to green, right?
Mm-hmm.
No difficulty?
Yeah.
Oh, it's supposed to be 3 green. Sorry.
Got it.
GGH. That's a new dice.
Yeah, my phone.
It's for hot dice.
All right. So you hop on board the Razorback Raven and tell Ozzy to get us the hell out of here. And as the Razorback starts to lift up, a AT-AT shot comes in and blasts on the ground. And it is Raj who is
Bullshit.
knocked away. Song's pissed. But Song can't see this, so that's okay.
And I can't grab him.
You can try. That said, Darth Revan is... Or not Darth Revan. Darth Toxis is there. She approaches and glances
would it
down. She glances at
Be
the
for
man
me
on the
to try
ground.
to grab him?
You could try to make a brawn athletics check.
Denied destiny, Raven. Fuck the Force.
Can I commit a force die to that?
Yes.
You can.
Okay, so I don't have to roll to commit that die, right?
Mm-hmm.
We also do have a light side.
Hold on. I need to figure out exactly how the enhanced tree works because I'm
You can also
making an
use
athletics check.
a destiny dice if you want to.
Roll an enhanced power check as making an athletics check, may roll an enhanced power check as part of the pool, may spend light or dark to gain success or advantage on the check. Wait, then why does it have a force? Oh, it has a force die because I roll a force die for that fourth one?
I'm sorry. What move are you trying to use right now?
It's the
Enhanced?
basic one in the enhanced tree.
So here's how this works. Enhance. Let me bring it up. All right. When making an athletics check, the force user may roll an enhanced power check as part of the pool. The user may spend. So you're going to roll your force rating and force die, and any force points you generate, you can spend to get extra either successes or advantage.
Okay.
Ooh.
And then what is using Destiny?
He's-
Is that an upgrade?
Yep, it's a free upgrade. So he's only Silhouette 2. So he's not, or Silhouette 0, sorry. So it's only difficulty 2 to manage to grab him and try and carry him up with you. as the ship begins to lift off.
So 2 success, 2 advantage then.
2 success, 2 advantage. Okay, excellent. You grab hold of him by the leg and start to literally lift him up, and he's upside down at the moment, which is not ideal. But you're able to, like, basically you're on the gangway that's still down, and you kind of lunge forward, grab hold of the hydraulic, and you're hanging on to him as he's
The
lifted
cape is
up.
all in his face. He can't see anything.
His cape is screwing him hard right now.
He has no idea how close to death he is.
From a distance, you can hear him go, "Oh, the irony!" If only I didn't have this cape. All right, give me un momento because this is important. Ozzy starts trying to lift the ship up more.
Oh, his Toxic's gonna try to pull the ship out of the air.
What the fuck?
She certainly is.
Oh man.
She throws her hands up, and literally the Razorback stops moving as she starts to pull it back down. She is scary powerful in the Force. And as this happens, Raven.
Uh-oh.
Y, G, against 2 purple.
Don't like
Raven.
this.
As this is happening, as you look and see as the ship shudders once as it is being held in pace, Raj kicks you in the face. And you drop him.
Damn it, Raj.
And he lands on Darth Toxis and punches her on the way down because he doesn't have his gun.
Superman punch, literally.
Yeah, like, and it's cool because he's got the cape now. Now the cape is like fluttering as he comes down. He looks like fucking Batman as he comes down. And somewhere Song is like, I'll bet you that cape's actually kind of cool sometimes. Like you can hear it.
Nope. Song does not believe it.
And he comes down and punches her and lands on top of her in time for a lightsaber to ignite through him.
Yeah, Raven is just screaming at Raj.
We want that destiny point back.
Kind of do, to be honest.
You start lifting up into the air. I didn't actually take it from you, so that's fine. We start lifting up into the air, and she pushes Raj off and glares up at you, but looks down at him and ignites her lightsaber once more, lifting it up over her head. And as she goes to swing down, suddenly her hand catches, like she can't move it. And struggles for a moment before looking up. Raven, right next to you, Sifu Rook is standing there, clinging to the other of the other hydraulic. Thank you. And she's holding her hand out like this, holding on to that lightsaber as hard as she can, focusing everything she's got in it. And Toxis looks up, looking at her, intrigued. You can see she's just, the way she cranes her neck up. Huh. Interesting. But eventually, you get out of range of a young Padawan. He loses it. And the lightsaber comes down and cleaves through him. The gangway raises, and Sifu drops to her knees. She doesn't cry.
Because she knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm, she did. She spent the last day preparing herself for this moment that she knew would come. She feels proud of herself that she did everything she could to fight it. But she won't let it consume her. Because you gave both Anaris and Raven, you both overcame the 2 elements that risked her falling to the dark side here. So well done to both of you.
I don't know. She might want to join the rest of her family on the dark side.
Yeah, possibly. Meanwhile, back on the Lady in Waiting. You Song are still in the cell with, I say cell.
I mean, is it really a cell?
Lelia looks at you.
So why does she keep you alive then?
I don't know. We don't talk very often.
Our son. What happened to him, actually?
The last thing I have to show you. Not going to be easy to see.
What is?
Once again, the room begins to twist and change and morph. And now you are not in a room that you recognize. This time it is very different. Well, I'm sorry. You recognize in general what it is, but I don't think you've ever been in this room. You are in a Sith training dojo.
Is this like where we fought those things in the temple on
slugs,
Korriban?
Yeah.
Yep. It has a training area and some pens on the side. And down the hallway to the viewing area comes a 13-year-old Tsuneyazi. Her hair done up in a bun and a lightsaber on her hip. And a 18-year-old Zahn. Also with a lightsaber on his hip and his hair cut short now. They enter the dojo together. And they are greeted with a Tyranitek, the monster you all fought in Darth Revan's tomb.
Oh, this is going to be cruel, isn't it?
You watch them fight this beast. They both ignite their lightsaber blades and begin to fight. And you can't help but be proud. They fight so well together. They cover each other's weaknesses. They cover each other's blind spots. When one makes a distraction, the other strikes without even having to be told. They work fluidly in motion with one another. And despite a very difficult fight, even by Sith standards for a test, they fell this great monster. And it collapses to the ground. And as all Sith trials end, they then turn to face each other. Sifu gets into her stance.
Not Sifu.
Sorry, not Sifu. Tsuneyazi gets into her stance, preparing to fight. And Zahn extinguishes his blade. And Tsuneyazi looks really confused. She's like, what are you doing? Ignite your blade. Let's do this. He shakes his head, puts his lightsaber back on his hip. No, sister. I won't fight you. And she starts to look a little nervous, like a little panicked almost, like, what do you mean you won't fight? We have to fight or they kill us both. You know how this works. He nods. I know exactly how this works. Well, you're the better fighter. You'll beat me. Ignite your blade. He shakes his head again. No, I won't. And she kind of grits her teeth, annoyed. She swings her lightsaber once just off to the side. Hey, I don't need your pity or your sympathy. I can handle myself. I've always been able to handle myself. Now fight me. He shakes his head one more time. No. No, sister. Do what must be done. And you see tears start to streak down her cheeks. Don't make me do this. We have to do this or they'll kill us both. You know, she's trying to reason with herself, they will kill us both if we don't do this. Fight me. He continues to deny her. Don't be weak, Tsuneyazi. You can handle this. Tell Mother I love her. At the mention of her mother, she lets out an enraged scream and swings forward, bisecting him straight down the middle. He collapses to the ground. And she drops to her knees, tears streaming down her face as she lets out a horrified scream. She sits there for a moment before Darth Revan enters from off to the side. The man in the angular mask looks down. What have you done, Tsuneyazi? He looks up. I did what I had to do. He shakes his head. The final test of the Sith is one of loyalty, Sune Azi. He passed. You failed. She looks utterly horrified. Tears streaming down her cheeks faster than ever as she throws her lightsaber to the side and drops to her knees and just sobs. Darth Revan shakes his head. What a disappointment. But he glances down. You can never go back to your mother now. How disappointed she'll be in you. Worry not, child. I will train you nonetheless. Where there is weakness now, I will forge strength. Come. And this terrified 13-year-old girl stands up and takes his hand and leaves. And the vision fades away, but it doesn't fade back to the room that you were in before. That room is gone. And you now see the room that you truly stood in. A small little cell. And laying on the ground in the corner of it, you see an emaciated woman that looks like she has not eaten in a long time. Her hair is dead and thinning and beginning to fall out. Her eyes are sunken and hollow. It is Lelia Vizsla, as she truly is right now. She looks up at you weakly. When you said I failed her, you didn't know the half of it. Do what you're here to
figured
do.
as much. So the big room with all the paintings and stuff, she was just putting that up as the front.
Yep, she was making it look that way. You do notice that part of this cell is missing. A hole has been torn into the back of it. You can only imagine how many years of clawing and tearing it took to make that hole, but it leads all the way back to a maintenance way that she has managed to rip and tear through over the years, one little bit at a time. She's kept it hidden with her abilities. She glances at it. You can get back to the hangar from there. As long as your ship is still there, you can go.
This wasn't the room. No, wait, you said that this was the room that I also saw Toxis in?
No, you've been taken down to a different room.
Okay.
Just the room that she put on as a front wasn't real.
Right.
It's just a
Right.
prisoner cell.
Mm-hmm. You've been under their control all these years, sitting here in this cell. Why didn't you end it?
I haven't done anything for them in a long time.
It's not what I asked.
Why didn't I kill myself?
It's one way out. Why didn't you try to stop our daughter?
By the time I saw her again, she wasn't our daughter anymore.
That much is clear.
I tried to reach out to Katra, show her what was coming. I made everything worse. Then I tried to reach out to you. I thought you would take the droid's memory core back to the Jedi and they would find out everything.
Could have been a little bit more clear with your instructions.
I failed. It is the story of my life.
You've been
Yeah,
hiding
yeah.
this hole here for quite some time, though.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
Toxis can't see through your illusions.
not all of them. Not when she doesn't think to look. She thought me a broken woman. She didn't realize I had found a way to communicate with you or Katra.
You know where her quarters are?
Up, probably. I've never been in them.
I would like to try and use my seek powers to see if I can at least get a bead on where they might be.
Where Toxis is?
Where Toxis' quarters would be. Since I assume I saw them in that vision.
No, you saw this room that you're in right now in that vision.
Oh, but Toxis was sitting in this room? Okay.
He was in this room.
Let me see here real quick.
You get the sense that Toxis was fine to let her have her little illusions in this room. They didn't mean anything to her.
Check seek powers really quick. Oh, what the fuck? That's some dude.
That's just
Kid.
some dude.
It was some little redheaded kid named Seek, apparently.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna sit down in the room with her then.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna put your little mirages back up. And when what's left of our daughter comes back, you're gonna put up an illusion of me and hide me. And we're gonna do what you should have attempted, at least, to do years ago.
He looks at you, Song. Song. If I could keep my illusions up one more second, you would never have laid eyes on me like this.
Well, you better start gathering your strength, because you're gonna need it for at least a little bit longer.
If you want to get her, go to the hangar. She'll be returning shortly.
And she'll be coming here to see us. Can you at least hide me from her, not the rest of the room, but just me?
She reaches out and forces her hand up. You can tell it's taking everything she has. She closes her eyes and just tries to focus on you. And you
Give her a destiny dice? Unless it's going to work, then I won't.
slowly, you begin to turn invisible, hidden from the Force sensitive, hidden from the eyes of those who are not wise. And as she finishes, she dies, having given everything that she had left.
The illusion holds, though, as far as I'm aware.
As far as you can tell, I mean, you can still see yourself, but
Okay.
like you think it probably worked.
Well, either way, I will sit there and wait.
Okay. It is a long, long time. But eventually, the door does open, and 3 Sith enter, 3 Sith guards. They kind of blink as they look around. And they see the torn open access way in the back. Lock down the ship. And they step back out and close the door behind them.
I'd like to try and use the Seek power to see if I can see where Toxis is.
Sure. Go ahead and make an attempt.
I think I need
Dark side.
2.
You do, to be able to see where she is. But you don't currently know.
I'm going to wait a little bit longer,
Mhm.
because I assume they left her body in here.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm going to wait a little bit longer to see if Toxis shows up or not.
Doesn't seem like it.
Then I'm going to attempt to... Oh boy, this is a big ship.
Yes.
All right, I'll make my way out the hole into the maintenance closet.
So you're in a maintenance shaft, which is leading
Okay.
kind of back along the ways. As you start making your way down, you pass by a very interesting room. It is the room with all the contraband in it. You see your blaster pistol and your thermal detonator in it.
Oh, let's grab those.
Probably a good call.
Mm-hmm.
And you can continue your way down.
There's a computer in that room as well.
There's a computer in most of these.
All
rooms.
right. I'm going to channel my inner Galvin
I love it. Galvin would be so proud. What do you want to do?
and see if I can try and locate where Toxis might be through this computer.
Difficult. Okay, so you're trying to hack a Sith computer on an ancient ship. All right, difficulty 3 computers check.
Oh, this is not going to be good, y'all. My computers, I'm sure, is 2. Computers. Yep. So green, and then 3 purple.
Yeah,
You know what?
I believe it. Use
I
the
got
force.
an upgrade. I'm
You got a
gonna turn
banked
those green
upgrade?
to a yellow.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Okay. Come on, Calvin. Come on, Calvin.
You did it.
Holy fuck!
All right, you are able to slice. You remember watching Galvin do this a number of times, and you're like,
I banged the side of it a few times too, for good measure.
there you go. Take 3 strain.
Yeah.
You are able to slice into this terminal, and with it, you are able to locate the current whereabouts of Darth Toxis. She is currently en route back to the Lady in Waiting. You can see that she is on one of the transports heading towards, as fate and the DM would have it, the hangar with your Z-Wing in it. Mainly because that's the main hangar of the ship.
Yep. Okay. I head there then.
It's a long ways down the maintenance access ways because it's a big ass ship. It definitely takes you like 5 minutes to make the walk down in a healthy sprint.
Yeah.
It takes you.
I would also like to try and test at some point, if possible, if I'm still invisible.
You along the way decide to chance trying to let one of the guards see you. They don't seem to react at all.
Okay.
You make noise and they do react to that. So it's like, okay, so be careful.
Okay.
But you make your way towards the hangar. It's got a simple grating over it that's kind of block it, so you're able to kind of like give it a solid punch. You wait basically for loud sounds to happen in the hangar and kind of knock it open so that you're able to get out into the hangar. What would you like to do?
Wait for this
Mhm.
ship to come in.
Great. So you see two what am I trying to describe? Two transport ships that are making their way up. One of them comes in and docks, and the other one circles around again to let the other one finish docking before it can finish docking. You're in the hangar. You can see your Z95. Looks okay. Looks like they didn't pay it a whole lot of mind. As the other one is looping around to come in, the bay on the first one starts to lower down, and indeed, Darth Toxis emerges from it.
Ahead of all of her troops.
She's got there's a contingent of clones, or not clones. I keep saying clones. Of droids with her, and also 2 of her ladies' knights, 2 of the Sith cloaked in dark.
Okay. Do they seem to see or notice me?
At first, no.
All right, I'd like to get as close as I can without like fully revealing myself. How far into range can I get?
I'd say you can get to about medium range before they notice, or they would probably have a good chance of noticing.
Okay. Then I would reveal myself. saying, Tsuneyazi, your father would like to have a word with you, and then activate both of the thermal detonators, dead man switch, as I walk closer to them.
Very well. You activate the dead man switches on the thermal detonators. They are quite simple devices. They slide forward, and when they slide back, they explode. So if someone kills you while you're holding them, they blow up.
Yep.
Like it. So she glances over at you, watching your facade fall, and she nods. Oh, so the witch had a couple of surprises left after all.
Yeah, but don't worry. I took care of her for you.
Much appreciated.
Why'd you keep her around?
He seems to think about that for a moment. Well, like you said, death is seldom a punishment.
Nothing to do with loyalty?
He does not care for that response. Father, you don't understand. You can't
don't.
understand.
I don't, you're right. There's not much that I do understand these days. Why your mother reached out to some Mandalorian woman to try and stop this when she was at the heart of it the whole time.
Because she betrayed you, Father. Betrayed all of us.
She did? Something I'm likely to never forgive her for.
I certainly didn't. Father, we can do this. We can right these wrongs.
How?
You think I intend to follow Darth Revan for eternity? I'm going to kill Darth Revan. I'm going to kill all of the Sith and all of the Jedi and all of the Mandalorians and all of the Hutts. And no one will ever go through what I went through again. We can do it together. We can fix this horrible galaxy.
Some of your plan is pretty sound. But you realize how many people you would be putting through what you've gone through?
One time the galaxy makes that sacrifice to fix all of this.
And what about all the little Sunazes out there? All the Zans? Do they deserve to go what you went through?
No one deserved it, but I did.
You did.
Will you join me, Father?
Why can't you join me? Or do you have a little bit more of your mother in you than you thought?
Join
Because
you?
the one person you haven't betrayed yet is me.
I
I
didn't
get why you've
betray
done all of this.
anybody.
Not yet.
She is going to try and sense you. Okay. Good to know. He nods. And she's actually going to make one more force power roll. Un momento.
How
No.
close am I to her at this point?
You're very close to her at this point. You're probably short range, nearing engaged.
I'm going to turn off one of the thermal detonators
Mhm.
and put it away.
Mhm.
You want to save this galaxy from pain?
I'm going to save it from pain.
By causing more of it?
Yes. Because that is all this galaxy understands.
Doesn't have to. You know, not that you would need it right now because of this big ship that you have, but I got one for you. Do you remember the Razorback?
He nods. That hunk of junk. I remember.
Well, she wouldn't remember. I got it afterwards, but the kids always said that they wanted to, if they got one, they would name it the Razorback.
Okay, gotcha.
hmm
Okay.
Compared to this, it is a hunk of junk.
Father. You are such a disappointment. And she's gonna reach up and
I'm tossing
her
the
lightsaber.
thermal, and I toss the thermal detonator to her.
He catches it.
And then I shoot her with the disruptor blaster. That thermal detonator was the fake.
Okay. So the thermal detonator you tossed her is the fake?
Yes.
He nods. She is going to how do I want to handle this? All right. First of all, you may go ahead and make an attack roll against her.
Okay.
Before we get into any this fight is bullshit, I will remind you she is your episode 2 boss.
Yep. Okay. That's yellow.
This fight is bullshit.
It's
Green.
definitely going to be.
Well, I mean, Raven soloed the first boss, so is Song really gonna let Raven show him up?
All right. I'm shaking right now. I can hear my heart in my head.
All
All right.
right. Difficulty 2. Or no,
Purple.
your short range. Difficulty 1.
Okay. Quick strike because she hasn't acted yet.
Yep.
So I get. Hold on. How many ranks of that do I have? I think I just have 1. So that's a blue, I believe. And then a destiny dice will make my green a yellow.
That is correct.
Paul, I hope that goodbye is because you're going to bed and not because you think I'm going to die. All right, so 4 yellows, a blue, and a purple. Okay. My hands are sweaty. All right. Okay, Mal, thank you. That one is because she expects me to die.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
All right, here we go.
4 success and 3 advantage.
Okay,
Okay.
that's a crit.
She is going to activate her Seize Your Destiny ability. Once per round, as long as there is a dark side in the destiny pool, she may spend a dark side to negate an attack that hits her.
Oh, son of a
Negate,
bitch.
huh?
So she'll spend the one that you just spent to activate that effect.
Okie dokie.
And she shakes her head. Oh, Father. And she's going to draw her lightsaber. As I said, such a disappointment. And as she goes to swing at you, another voice calls out and says, "You're the disappointment." You look over, and Sifu Rook is standing there. Her lightsaber drawn. She's in her Niman stance. And she glares. And Toxus kind of looks over and chuckles. Huh. It makes so much sense now. I was trying to figure out who those feelings I sensed were for, Father. Mother, and for brother, and for me, and for sister.
Where is Sifu and how far away is she?
She is probably medium distance to you, near the second transport ship that just docked.
She's like she came off the transport?
I mean, you're not sure, but
Okay.
where she's standing would imply that.
All right, and if I'm still within range of Toxus, I'd like to fire again.
Well, it's her turn. So she's
Okay.
she's currently speaking with her sister,
Mhm.
with her older sister. And she glances over at you. And smiles. Run, Father. I've got this.
Sifu says that.
Sifu says that to you. Robbie,
Mm-hmm.
make a perception roll.
I'm pretty sure it's not her. Success to advantages.
Okay. I'm DMing you something.
I'll have to look on my phone or else everybody else is going to see it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Super spoilers.
Might be.
I'm just curious how she got onto the transport when we were literally right there with her.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually her.
He nods and closes to prepare to fight.
Yeah, I start to take a step back, and I would like to grab my actual thermal detonator.
Mm-hmm. All right, you take a step back and grab your thermal detonator. What do you do with it?
I'm going to wait to see what Toxis does.
Toxis starts to approach Sifu, kind of looking down at her.
Then once Toxis is out of range of me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wait for her to attack.
Toxis approaches, smiling. You can tell through, even with the mask on, she's smiling. Little sister. She truly can't tell the truth about anything, can she? Miscarried, huh? I should have known better. Sifu looks up at her. Sister, come away from this. We don't have to do this. And she takes a moment before looking at you. Song.
Yeah, I'm hesitating to
Mhm.
leave.
She signals to you. Go. Father. There is good in her. I can save her.
I know there is.
You note she called you father.
I know.
Okay.
We're all just in a standoff right now.
It is. It's a tense standoff. Let me try something. Oops. That went to Robbie, not to where it's supposed to go.
Oh.
That was for D1C3.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I'm like, more spoilers?
No more spoilers. Ooh, very nice. All right. She is about to tap into the dark side for the first time in her life.
Sifu is?
Yep.
Shit.
Oh, that's not good.
Song. You are. I need you to make a difficulty. I need you to make a vigilance. A discipline will check. The difficulty is 3 red and a purple.
Sorry, vigilance will?
Vigilance will.
All right, so green, and what's the
3 red and a purple.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Advantage.
Okay. Heal a strain.
I got a few of those.
She tears the thermal detonator out of your hand. And
Where?
it's just rolling across the floor now. And Sifu yells, "Go!" She knows what it is.
In what direction? Because I would have just thrown it at that point.
Well, too late now. It is rolling away out towards the. It's heading towards one of the dropships.
All right. I turn to start going.
Mhm.
And then I turn back and start blasting. I'm going to use
Yeah.
sniper shot on the
While you're blasting or while you're running?
while I'm
I dig it. All right, go ahead and try and use sniper shot.
try.
So you're going to move out to medium range, and then
Yep.
to you'll have to increase the difficulty by 1 with sniper shot. So it's going to be red purple.
Okay. I'm going to use Destiny Point.
Go for it. So it's back to 3-3.
What
Failure.
the fuck?
All right, the triumph and the despair are going to cancel out.
Oh,
You
that's some
fa-
bullshit.
So you fail, and you're going to heal another strain. Got it. Okay. So yeah, the shots go back, and Toxis raises up an arm and kind of
Yep.
whisks them away as she
Mhm.
continues to approach Sifu. Sister, I can teach you things you would never imagine. Powers beyond your comprehension. As she's saying this song, you're able to kind of get into your Z95.
Yep.
And she raises up a hand, offering it to Sifu.
Does
Sifu shakes-
Z95 have weapons on it?
Does. Very hard to use in a hangar, but you could try.
You know what? It wouldn't be the first time that someone in Star Wars has used them in a hangar.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first. Geez, I got too many names jumbled in my head right now. Sifu still has her lightsaber drawn as Toxis approaches, and Sifu shakes her head. Never. And it's fine. Then then prepare. Sifu nods and extinguishes her blade, looking up at her sister, and shakes her head. I will not fight you. There is good in you. And this really fucks with Toxis, who staggers a little bit. Draw your blade, ignite your saber, or die. And she shakes her head. I will not fight you. There is good in you. You won't hurt me. And I need to make one more roll. Perfect. And enraged, she finally has had enough, and she growls and swings her lightsaber, cleaving through Sifu Rook, who looks down as the illusion just takes the blade. And she shrugs and looks up. Sorry, sis. And then she's going to use her force power to ignite the thermal detonator. Song, you're going to want to get the fuck out of there right now, because this thing explodes. A small nuclear device just went off, and you can see Toxis throw her, like freak out for a moment, like, what? No! And she throws her hands up and starts trying to, push the blast back, trying to not get caught in it herself. Ugh.
No, I'm going to shoot her.
You can take a shot at her if you want.
Yep, I have no idea what the stats for this fighter is.
All right. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to make 2 rolls for me.
Okay.
One is going to be a space piloting check,
Uh-huh.
and one is going to be a gunnery check. The gunnery
right.
check is going to be at difficulty. God, the guns are not designed for this short of fire. 3 purple, 2 red. Sorry, 2 red and a purple is going to be their shot.
Which one do you want me to do first?
I want you to do the gunnery check first.
All right, so the gunnery check. Let me see where is gunnery.
It's going to be 2 red and a purple. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be 3 purple and a black. I don't think the reds are appropriate for this.
So how many you said 3 purples and a black?
3 purple and a black.
Come on, dice gods, be with me today. Holy
Yes.
fuck.
Now I want you to make a planetary piloting check for me.
Which is yellow, green, green. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 1.
One success.
One success on both. All right. You lift the Z95 up just as the explosion starts. And as you start to jettison out of the hangar bay, you see her still holding in this explosion, just starting to contain it as if she has summoned up enough rage to force it back down. And your shot connects. It doesn't hit her directly, but it does hit the floor right by her and staggers her, and the explosion catches her as you blast out into space and take off like a bat out of hell.
How much damage does it do?
Goes to check. Enough that she's going to look very
Yes.
different the next time you see her.
As I'm flying away, I'd like to try and do seek to see if I still sense her. I get these so mixed up because I feel like looking for someone with the force is like sense, but that's not what.
No,
sense
sense
is.
helps you like sense what people are feeling.
Yeah.
Seek. It's 20 wounds. So yeah, it's gonna be a real bad day for her.
Who got to roll that attack? Was there any like critting in there?
It would be Sifu's attack technically because she threw it, but it's just gonna be the basic. She contained a decent bit of it
Mhm.
before it exploded and definitely wrecked her shit. She got blown across the hangar. She's not dead, but she's not going to die here. She is my final boss of the episode. But she's going to look very different than I had originally intended for her when you see her next.
Mhm.
You blast out into space, and as you come out, you see that the Mandalorian ships are coming up off the planet and are preparing to jump into hyperspace. You're able to make it back to rendezvous. Meanwhile, on the Razorback, Sifu has been in the common room meditating harder than you've ever seen her. You've seen her holding absolute concentration and focus that Oneris' teachings have helped her. And finally, she opens her eyes and just collapses to the floor, exhausted. I saved him. She glances over at you, Raven. I'm sorry. I had to save him.
Raven will just nod and then like help her to a bunk.
Mm-hmm. She looks over at you as you sit her down, and she kind of reaches out and grabs hold of your sleeve for a moment. Raven, he's my father.
Is that all she says, or?
That's what she says. She gives you that desperate look that only a 13-year-old can muster.
Raven just looks like completely fucking floored.
Mm-hmm. She smiles. Sorry. I made Raj promise not to tell. I wanted to know who he was before he found out who I was.
Secret to tell. She's like visibly biting back,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Sifu knows what he did.
unfiltered rage at Song.
Yeah.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
He looks up. She's willing to ask. You forgave your wife because you love her. Please forgive my father. I love him.
Will not. I'm not going to kill him. We can't spare the fighters.
He nods. Very pragmatic look at it. But not an inaccurate one.
Guess my wife taught me something after all.
Mercy not always for the weak. She is exhausted, and she is going to fall asleep now.
Raven's gonna keep an eye on her.
And so you all blast into hyperspace, making your way towards Hoth. And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Both my thermal detonators.
Yeah, both your thermal detonators.
How much are those?
It's not that they're expensive, they're just hard to find.
Well, I mean, they are 2,000 credits. Like, they're not cheap.
I mean, I have 2,000 credits, but
I have 4,001 credits.
all right, let's go buy 3 thermal detonators.
Well, you can't
Yeah.
find them, so.
Uh,
They are rarity 8 and restricted. It is easier to buy a Star Destroyer than it is a thermal detonator.
How much does a Star Destroyer cost? Is it 2,000 credits?
I think it's 1.3 million credits.
That's so stupid.
Is it 6,000 credits?
They have like
totally-
they
let's totally
have
buy
the
one.
prices on these major ships because if you're playing like a major like if you're playing like a war simulation game, you would need to be able to buy them. But
Mhm.
that's the only reason why.
Yep.
That's where we're ending it for tonight. I want to say, first of all, I hope everyone enjoyed it. And second of all, I actually do apologize. I had a lot of story to get out in a short period of time. So if I felt railroady at times, I am very sorry.
It was very Empire and it worked.
It was meant to be very Empire since this is episode 2. Yes.
Can I,
Hack.
Raven, send
Thanks,
out
fuck
one
you.
message before we end?
You can send out a message, actually, because there is actually one more thing I need to get in. Oh, Dolvik, thank you for the 1,000 biddies.
Oh, Dolvik, thank you for the 1,000
You
biddies over
beautiful
here
bastard.
too.
You beautiful
Yeah,
bastard.
so-
Thank you.
Oh, Dolvik, thank you for nothing.
I do actually have to ask a question for this. What
Yeah,
is a
thank-
different nowhere planet other than Hoth?
A different
I'm gonna-
nowhere planet other than Hoth would
Dagobah.
be... What?
Dagobah.
Well, that is a middle nowhere.
Is
Yeah, you
that
could go to
of the
Jakku.
Outer Rim?
No, you could go to Jakku.
Oh, fucking
No,
suckers.
Jakku
Nowhere
doesn't
pl-
exist.
It does exist. Absolutely,
doesn't.
it exists in this time period.
Jakku does not exist. No,
Okay.
I refuse.
If you really don't want to go to Jakku, you could go to... Yeah.
Well, what's the
I know
what's
where
the
you could go in
planet
this
with
time
the-
period.
the-
You could go to Dathomir.
Oh, that's ironic.
Yeah, Dathomir. I mean, technically, it is unoccupied in this era. It's also the second most evil planet ever. I don't know if I
Yeah.
would recommend going there.
Honestly,
well, then it's
Raven's
the
not
second
super
to last
picky,
place that they would expect us to go.
That's true.
but she's going to send a message to all of specifically the Mandalorian ships that Isla stabbed them in the back, and we're ditching Hoth, leave them there,
Hmm.
and then
Good
go
call.
to some other nowhere planet.
So I guess we're going to use Jakku. So
Yeah, Raven's not
fine.
picky. She's channeling her wife right now.
very good.
We can
You all-
use Jakku, fine.
So instead, everyone makes their way towards Jakku. Oh God, I did have one more important thing that needs to happen. Oh yes, Anaris. You're hanging out with Galvin at the moment. And
Okay.
as you make the jump into light space, your something happens that has not happened since early on in episode 1. Your two-way communicator goes off.
I'm going to answer it.
Mhm. On the other end of the line, you hear the voice of Grandmaster Vandar. This is Grandmaster Vandar calling out to Operation Red Lightning.
How on earth are you still alive?
I'm a Grandmaster of the Jet. Who? You have grown some nerve since we last talked.
Yeah, well, how about you go through what I've been through and then talk to me?
I cannot say that I have been through what you have been through. Okay. I have been operating out of the inner worlds for the last couple months, trying to put together any resistance forces I can. I've got about 600 ships so far.
I'm just gonna kind of wide-eyed look at Galvin like, did you just hear that?
I'm sorry, Callie, can you repeat that number? Because I'm convinced I misheard.
600?
Okay.
Sure, you
I
mean
thought I-
6,000?
I'm
I
certain
heard
I didn't mean 6,000.
Okay, 600. Still though, shocking.
So it's 600 inner world ships, which are generally pretty good ships, so that's not bad.
Well, that's good. It's good news. We need some of that lately.
Yes, I understand things have been crazy. Most of the inner worlds have surrendered here, and most of the core worlds too. We've been trying to hold out here for as long as possible, but once the Vanguard left, it got bad.
It's a similar situation on Dantooine at the moment. We had to evacuate as quick as we could.
What's become of my temple?
I don't have an answer for that at the moment, Grandmaster.
It
This
exploded.
fucking crater.
It exploded real
Raven
big.
blew it up.
It is now a crater in the earth.
I'm being coy, okay? I'm sorry.
Fair enough. He nods. Well, it was just a planet. Have you been able to contact the Jedi Rangers?
Yeah, about that. They came to our rescue.
That seems about right. They are not easy to summon, but most of them are good people.
Well, Grandmaster, while I have you on the line and you're still alive, does the name Raya Jax mean anything to you?
Rhea Jax. Yes. Yes. She is the founder of the Jedi Rangers.
The Force definitely works in mysterious ways.
That it does. Anyway, I need to get out of here. There's no more good I can do in the Inner Rim. Terrace has fallen, but we should be able to sneak through. Where would you have us go?
Well, currently,
Raven
we're on our
would
way
have
to.
included- Yeah, I'm just pointing out Raven would have included everyone here on
Yeah.
that plan.
Right, right. That's what I was saying. Currently, we're headed for Jakku because we were sadly betrayed by the Hutts, and we're leaving them on Hoth.
Betrayed by the Hutts. Not altogether surprising. I'm sorry. Very well. We will make our way to Jakku as well. It'll take us some time to get there, but, well, let's just say it'll be good to see a friendly face. It's been a while.
As it has.
Keep safe, Anaris. As I understand, last I heard, is it Master Anaris now? Unless my eyes deceived me on the last transmissions.
No, you're right, and it's still. I'm getting used to it.
Have you
But-
found Keela Voss?
She's no longer with us.
Damn it.
She put up a good fight against Arthoxis.
Darth Toxus slew Keela Voss. This does not bode well that she is that strong. Very well. I will meet you at Jakku as soon as I am able. And the communication ends. And that is where we'll actually wrap for tonight.